We are at
Milwaukee
so much history,
has one of the largest and the longest running in this country, and it's something we should all be proud of. And I couldn't be happier to be sitting here with you today celebrating freedom. Just let that marinate. Freedom. It means so much to this country.
I mean, think about what that word means. And as we take a look at all the folks who are out here right now to enjoy the parade and really celebrate Juneteenth today, it is wonderful. We have a wonderful hour ahead planned for you. Couple of hours probably with the parade. Nearly 170 entrants. We're talking floats, bands, dance groups. I mean, all sorts of really fun things planned for you today.
It's really showcasing the best of what Milwaukee has to offer, from the vendors to all of these outstanding organizations that we will see today. And the beautiful part is we are here, TMJ4, live once again this year. So everybody who's not able to be here and see it in person, you can see it right there at home. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, a cup of coffee or cold iced tea maybe on
an air conditioner.
Yeah, sit back and enjoy. And just want to mention again, Milwaukee is proud to have one of the largest and longest running Juneteenth celebrations really in the country.
And I have been a part of this festival, Susan, for over 20 years now, and in some capacity or form, mostly with opening ceremonies. But there's one person who will be joining us soon. He's been a part of this since the very beginning. You know who I'm talking about, of course. The now retired executive director of Northcott Neighborhood House, Mr. Mac Weddle.
And Mac will be joining us on this stage coming up in just a little bit, along with Frank Cumberbatch, the Vice President of Engagement with Bader Philanthropies, which a longtime parade sponsor and partner. And boy, Frank is out there engaging.
Yes, people love Frank and Mac. We
Yeah.
couldn't pick better people to be here. And I actually had an opportunity to chat with both of them, who are great examples of the amazing things that can happen when this community comes together. Northcott Neighborhood House is actually the organization many people know that started Milwaukee's Juneteenth celebration, as we said, 53 years ago. And Mac Weddle has played a major role in its success for over 40 years. Frank Cumberbatch, he's the VP of Engagement for Bader Philanthropies, which is right over my shoulder. It's a major sponsor of Milwaukee's Juneteenth celebration.
Each year it just gets bigger and better, you know, and it's just good to see young people wanting to volunteer and participate and make a difference for the betterment of our city.
It's the only way that this would last is for us to, first of all, have a pipeline, create a pipeline of the next generation to say, come and learn, start at the lowest level and learn and grow.
Learn and grow. Each one teach one. That's what this day is all about. Frank referring to the importance of not only knowing the history, but continuing to teach the younger generation, passing that torch for them to continue this on 50 years from now. And of course, we'll hear more from Mac Weddle and Frank Cumberbatch in just a few moments as they join us as this year's co-host once again.
Yeah, excited for all their stories and perspective, that's for sure. So let's take a look at the start of the parade this morning, which was actually moved back a block this year because you heard them referencing how it just keeps getting bigger and better every year. So this year it's gotten bigger. So it's actually going to start at 11th and Atkinson instead of 12th, as you may remember from years past. You can see people there getting ready right now. The theme of this year's celebration is emotional. Our history, our culture, our village.
Yeah, it's very important, and there's a saying, it takes a village, and this is the village here today. People of all backgrounds, all nationalities, colors. We are here to celebrate freedom together. Let's take a look at the route of this 1.5 mile long parade. You're going to get your exercise in today, trust me.
For sure.
It starts near 11th and Atkinson, and once it gets to 5 Corners, it will head south on King Drive, eventually making its way to us right here at King and Concordia. Then it wraps up at King and Locust, and that's where opening ceremonies will begin, which kicks off this day-long festival. Now, as this parade gets underway, Shannon Sims, she's live at the step-off right there at 11th and Atkinson.
And Shannon, it looks as if from where you are that things are ready to get started with the Juneteenth Day Parade.
Things have already gotten started, Susan and Andrea. Happy Juneteenth Day to everyone who's watching. You know, right now you're looking at the Brew City Corvette Club coming through smooth. More than 50 of the baddest Corvettes in the city are joining us today in this parade. There goes Thelma Sias. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Thelma. Oh, it's a lot of people's birthday out here. But you know what? This parade is about so much. Not only is it about the fanfare you see here, it's also about the people. And I'm going to take you over to somebody who I've been talking to for a while. This is Derek. Derek, how many years have you been coming to the parade?
Ooh, over 30 years. I grew up in the neighborhood down here on 11th and Capitol, and been coming there for over 30 years, and going to continue to come.
What is it that draws you back year after year?
The excitement, the people, the costume, the music as you hear, and you guys.
All right. And we again are so proud to be broadcasting this year's parade. You can hear the music behind me. Again, as he said, there's a lot going on in this parade. We'll have much more from many of the people who are watching and getting more reaction. Back to you guys.
All right, Shannon, thanks so much. And you're going to hear that from a lot of folks today, the tradition and history of coming to this parade and the celebration, really for decades.
Yeah, some people have grown up coming to Milwaukee's Juneteenth festivities, and really it's a chill bump effect when you think about it.
Chill bump, I love that. The Juneteenth parade features a lot of special guests. Our Gideon Verdine is with one now.
And special he is, this year's Grand Marshal, Major General Johnny Davis. Gideon, you spent some time with General Davis last night, and I know for a fact you walked away inspired.
Oh yeah, I had a great time with Johnny. We got a chance to walk into your neighborhood and kind of see what you're all about. General, tell me what it feels like to be the Grand Marshal for today's event.
Well, it feels great, and it's good to be home. I love it. I mean, look at this. This is Happy Juneteenth Day. I grew up on 15th and Capitol. It's great to come back home and be part of this. It's progress, it's opportunity. It's time to get back to community. Thanks.
General Johnny Davis, tell me, is there a Juneteenth food you're looking forward to eating today?
Anything good. Anything from Milwaukee.
Great. Well, I got a chance to get to know you. I think it's appropriate that we give our viewers a chance to get to know you better. Check out this piece. First time back in Milwaukee in a while.
It is.
How does it feel to be back here where you grew up?
Well, it's great to be home. I mean, growing up off of 15th and Capitol, and then this is a very special place for me, 16th and North, Gauss Food Market. This was my very first job.
Yeah.
I was a bagger. I was in high school. I needed a little cash on the side just like everyone else. It was hard work, but this is where I learned everything about life, teamwork, friendships, everything. I mean, it was what the community invested in me, I never forgot, and I knew it would pay off.
So as we walk into this grocery store, a lot of good memories come out. What message would you have for young men out there starting in a humble job like grocery bagging but still have big dreams?
Yeah, I would tell you every job's important, no matter what the job is. So as I said, in this job, I learned responsibility, I learned teamwork, I learned that it's worth working hard and helping others to your left and right achieve success. And to me, that's what it was all about. And that was a start. Yeah. And that start propelled me to where I am today. The days, the nights, the weekends working in here, just really helping the community. It just brings back so many memories.
All right, we're here at your childhood school.
Yeah.
School you came to, elementary and middle school.
Yep, St. Philip's Elementary School. When I attended here in the late 70s, it was called Beautiful Savior Lutheran School, and I learned so much. When I think about this wonderful school, I think about the power of academic learning. It's all about really trying to invest in yourself to better and be better for others.
How did you stay out of trouble?
Well, so thanks for that. So I had strong parents. Well, I'll tell you, very involved parents. My father was a high school teacher at Riverside. He was just very, involved, and Mom was right there saying, okay, just, keep yourself safe, because what you don't want to do is hinder your ability to open doors and achieve your dreams you want.
All right, so we left your childhood school, and now we're in your childhood neighborhood where you grew up, this beautiful home. And as a child, you went to Juneteenth, and now you get to come back and lead the parade.
Yes, never in my wildest dreams would I imagine the opportunity to represent not only the community, but Milwaukee, and then serve as a Grand Marshal. I don't know what that means. Am I going to wear a big stole or give a lot of speeches? But whatever it takes, I just want to give back.
And there you have it, Johnny Davis, General Johnny Davis, one of a kind, going from grocery bagger to one of the top generals in the country. It's just an honor to meet him and an honor to, get to see a little bit of his life growing up here in Milwaukee.
Gideon, I love the fact that you went to some of his favorite places growing up here in Milwaukee, gave us really a sense of his roots and just what helped him become the 2-star general that he is today.
And about to be a 3-star general, I believe. And it's not every day you get to walk around with an Army general. He had some security with him as well, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and he's just a really humble, down-to-earth guy. Even with all his accolades and all he's accomplished in life, he really just wants to give back and show people in the community that he's become something of an inspiration, that he's become something important, and hopefully he can inspire young boys who grew up in neighborhoods just like him.
All right, Gideon Verdine, thanks so much. And I think a lot of the kids along the parade route today will certainly get a kick out of seeing Major General Johnny Davis.
Absolutely. Salute. And we're going to keep things moving. We need to check in with somebody pretty special, right?
Yeah, Cassandra McShepard. All right, so a lot of the floats and dance teams today are actually competing to be judged, and Cassandra is one of the judges today. Cassandra, what are you going to be watching for?
Ooh, Cassandra.
Well, I'm so glad that you asked. We are looking at the floats, the bands, and the dancers, and we do have criteria. We're looking for things from the drum line, like performance points, techniques, marching. We're looking for choreography from the dancers, impressions. We're just doing, but the interesting thing, as an artist, I always feel that art really shouldn't be judged. So I think it's kind of interesting that I'm asked to judge this, but I'm going to do my best. One thing I know for sure is that these young people have worked very, very hard, and this is very important to them. And so I sit with my esteemed panel of 4 judges. Together we make 5, and we're going to do our best to support these young people and give them the credit that they deserve.
All right, Cassandra McShepard, thanks so much for giving us the inside scoop on what you'll be looking for today. Really important qualities for the young people who are involved in some of these organizations, like the bands and the dance groups that will be performing today.
And Cassandra mentioned she's a performer. She can sing, and she knows what to look for. She knows what that stage presence is. And, I want to move on to something that's very important. Our TMJ4 family recently lost a legendary journalist who had a tremendous impact on this community.
Bill Taylor was an anchor and reporter for nearly 30 years at TMJ4 and played a big part in participating and covering those first years of Milwaukee's Juneteenth celebration.
Yes, we remember and salute Bill Taylor.
Knowledge is power, community is strength, and positive attitude is everything. That simple statement summarizes exactly who Bill Taylor was as a man, a journalist, and a father.
Do something positive this afternoon.
He did it his way, coining the show and the phrase "Positive Milwaukee." Do something positive today. That in and of itself was a twist on the news that I had never seen before as a kid. There's a lot of just the realities of this world that the news has to depict and portray, and my father, decided to go another route.
While Taylor is extremely proud of his father's legacy, Bill Taylor worked at TMJ4 for 29 years, was inducted into the Silver Circle by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for his years of service, and also inducted into the Milwaukee Press Club. His work as a journalist was important, but family was always his top priority.
The most memorable things that stick out to me are none of those things, are nothing that happened on set, nothing that happened in different countries, nothing that even happened during Juneteenth Day or any of his ceremonies or events that he may have emceed. It is him at home. It is Bill Taylor, the dad, the family man, the husband of 56 years, might I add, to my mother.
His daughter Danae is the oldest of his 6 children.
Well, my fondest memories are that this young man, loved my mother so much that he said yes to all 3 of us coming along as part of the package. You felt really proud when you were standing next to him, and he was a storyteller. Man, Dad could tell some stories. So you were not getting away from being with him without hearing some kind of story, and some of them you heard before, but they were told like they were brand new, because he knew everybody.
And everybody knew him.
Dad made it really crystal clear that community is family, and community are the most important things to us as a people. And they gotta be all of our priorities. And that's what I think is a legacy of his. Whether you think about Juneteenth Day, whether you think about African World Fest, Dad's footprints and handprints are on all of the legacy elements.
Another legacy that continues on today is Positively Milwaukee, an element that retired TMJ4 anchor Carol Meekins helped carry on.
Andrea, one of the best things about Bill is that he really deeply cared about passing on positive history of our community and of Milwaukee. He cared about the community. He was very involved, and I could walk out to any story in the Milwaukee and somebody was going to ask me, hey, have you heard from Bill Taylor? How's Bill Taylor? Or I remember Bill Taylor came here, and there was always so many nice stories about him. So his legacy, he may be gone, but he's in our hearts, and he's in Milwaukee.
Vivian King agrees. She had the honor of not only sitting right next to him in the newsroom, but she also co-anchored with him during her time at TMJ4.
Bill Taylor and one of our photographers, Andrew Triplett, who has since retired as well, they just welcomed me with open arms. And that's when he became BT to me. And he just, was always there for advice, for encouragement, and just the way he did his job was an example to us all. And I wanted to be like him.
To me, Bill Taylor is one of the most important people that TMJ4 has ever hired because he gave other people hope.
Retired photojournalist Claiborne Benson also has fond memories of his longtime friend.
When he came to a scene, people were so happy to see him, and he just bonded with people with grace. He was really an excellent reporter and wrote his stories so with an African perspective, always community-minded.
As a crew, they traveled across the globe from Israel to Ghana. Claiborne even credits Bill Taylor with influence in his love for Black history, which led to him opening the Wisconsin Black Historical Society 37 years ago.
This very room that we're in now is our African room, and so, this idea of being African or coming from Africa comes from BT. That's his model.
The Wisconsin Black Historical Society Museum will be the location of a special memorial held for Bill Taylor. It's scheduled for August 3rd, which would have been Bill's 80th birthday.
In true BT fashion, because he was very Afrocentric, and so we want to have a little bit of that there so that they know that he cared about Africa and our ancestors and where we came from and being dignified about that.
He would educate, he would illuminate.
My father's personality and his wisdom was infectious. It permeated through not only his family, but whoever he encountered.
All of his work, whether in radio or TV, unabashedly was very proud of the fact that we come from African kings and queens. And so when you have that as a foundation, you can conquer anything.
The legendary Bill Taylor, as we take this live look at the Juneteenth parade making its way here to where we are in our location. And
yes, and speaking of the late, great Bill Taylor, that celebration of life that was mentioned in the package, it's happening Saturday, August 3rd at 10 a.m. at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society Museum. And the family's asking in lieu of flowers that you consider making donations to the museum. It's open to the public, but you must RSVP due to limited seating. And as you can imagine, Bill Taylor, very popular. You can go to BillTaylorNews.com for more information and leave personalized condolences.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Taylor, I had the honor of working with Bill Taylor in the TMJ4 newsroom, and I just want to echo a lot of the things that Carol and Vivian would say about what a leader he was in the newsroom, always willing to talk to young reporters about the city and just help them learn. And as you can see, guests have joined us. Frank Cumberbadge, Vice President of Engagement at Bader Philanthropies, and Mac Ruddle. Yes.
Now, Mac, you have a very special relationship with Bill Taylor's family as he has gone on. So talk a little bit about the role that Bill Taylor played being a part of TMJ4 with Juneteenth in particular.
Bill played a significant role in the city of Milwaukee. He was very community orientated. Bill and I became really good friends. Bill was one of the original Juneteenth Day founders also, along with Margaret Rogers. We honored him as the Grand Marshal at Juneteenth Day. When he left town, we honored him at the World Festival. I had the opportunity to be on stage with him and introduce him to Whispers, and
just a wonderful man.
Just a wonderful person.
And we're going to take a look at the parade as things are setting up and getting ready to take off. It's so exciting. It's in the air, for sure.
Yeah, we certainly want to tell you about who you are seeing right now as the parade makes its way here to our location, the U.S. Army Milwaukee Recruiting Battalion. And Major General Johnny Davis, Frank, the Grand Marshal this year, really a way for them to share the message of the Army and serving our country.
Absolutely. When you have African Americans rising to the stature of a Major General in the United States Army, it's a celebration that's very appropriate for today. There aren't very many African American generals in the United States Army, so he is worth celebrating as one of our hometown heroes.
And I would imagine you were thrilled beyond belief to know that he was available to be the Grand Marshal today.
Absolutely. At a time when military recruiting and the Army itself sometimes, for some people, are negative, we are so glad to feature the people who serve and protect us every single day to live the type of lives we live here in the United States.
You're watching on your screen right now the young people, the future of Juneteenth, as we kind of go back and forth here with the U.S. Army Milwaukee Recruiting Battalion, making their way through the parade to the cheers of so many people. And then we're also looking at some of the young people who are continuing to help grow the celebration.
Mr. and Miss Juneteenth and their court, and they, of course, are riding in those beautiful vehicles from the Brew City Corvette Club. And these guys don't just drive around, rather in these nice cars. They indeed give back to this community, whether it's giving back to veterans, back to school, whatever the case may be. They are part of this community, and they are proud to be able to be a part of this festival, which I think has been over 30 years now.
And let's give them a shout out. Let's say their names. 2024 Miss Juneteenth, Zoe Chambers. 2024 Mr. Juneteenth, Matthew Goss. 2024 Little Miss Juneteenth, Brianna Clemens.
Yes.
2024 Little Mr. Juneteenth, Mason Donald. First runner-up Miss Juneteenth, Gianna Cooks. Second runner-up Miss Juneteenth, Azaria Gaboni. And first runner-up Mr. Juneteenth, Marvell Thomas. So they're making their way through your television screen right now. And Mac, you must be so proud when you see these young people who want to be involved, because the standards for winning these contests are very, very stringent.
Yes, it is. This is based on poise, personality, talent, essay question, and this is like the 23rd year that we've been doing the Miss Juneteenth and Little Miss Juneteenth pageant.
I want to point out a very special Juneteenth family, I call them. The 2024 Little Miss Juneteenth, Brianna Clemens. She's carrying the crown for this year. She's going to be a 6th grader at Kennedy, but her mom, Deanna, won the crown for Miss Juneteenth in 1995. Then her sister, Bailey, came in and won the crown in 2019. Then their little brother, Brian Jr., won Little Mr. Juneteenth in 2022. So that is why I've definitely coined them the Juneteenth family. That's for sure.
Yeah, and if I can mention one other person as well, Gianna Cooks goes to university school with a 4.2 grade point average.
Wow.
I mean, that's no joke. Because again, good grades, it shows the quality of kids we have competing in the pageant.
And these kids walk away with scholarship dollars, and that's what this is really all about. We just had the Freedom Ball last Friday? Time is flying by. Last Friday, and they were introduced to those in attendance and given out some big money in order to help them continue on with their education.
Yes, over $25,000 in scholarship dollars and funds.
That's some good money. Now there is our girl. She is representing We Energy's Thelma Sias. She's retired now, but she'll always represent Me.
And not only Thelma Sias, today is Thelma's birthday. Happy birthday, Thelma, June 19th.
And you were looking at Miss Teen Wisconsin there as well as she waves to the crowd. And I know Thelma is she's such a powerhouse, right? Anytime she walked into any room, really anywhere in Wisconsin, people paid attention because she just had that way about her.
There is a presence when Thelma enters the room, that's for sure. And she's a proud HBCU graduate of Clark Atlanta University as well.
All right, so you may be hearing some drums, really powerful sounds. The Milwaukee Hitters drum corps line.
The Milwaukee Hitters.
Yes.
Now what you're seeing, they're performing at Summerfest all 3 weekends, so you will see these young people, and they are also a part of the competition that's taking place today. But these drums and this drum line, this is a part of the African history that is just in the DNA that continues on today.
We say that
you
for
hear the drums and you just start moving and grooving.
Let's listen in here to the Milwaukee Hitters.
Right there is what you hear non-stop on the HBCU campus. Can I just please draw attention to this beautiful lady standing beside me, known as Milwaukee's mother of Juneteenth, the one and only Margaret Henningsen. This day, this celebration, it's safe to say, would not be where it is today had it not been for you. So good to see.
And a few other people, but it's good to see you too. I'm so full. I hope I don't burst into tears.
It's okay.
I remember the first parade. There were about 10 people out here watching that parade. And to get here, I had to walk about 3 blocks. My daughter dropped me off. The traffic is parked up past Capitol Drive, going all the way down Capitol Drive, every side street. And any available space to watch this parade along the route is taken up. This is pretty amazing, and it's also wonderful that it's Milwaukee where it's happening, that has so many other things. You know, we're highly segregated. There are people who, as soon as they get their degree, they want to leave here. We've had, made the national news a couple of times around mortgage lending, but look at us. We are out here in full force, celebrating Juneteenth and understanding why we're celebrating Juneteenth. And
it means so much because, Mac, 3rd Street was having some issues with people continuing to come and be a part of what it had to offer. And you all kind of put your heads together and said, what can we do to bring this community back to the heart of the city? And this lovely lady spoke up and said what?
We need to do it. We need to bring interest back into our community. Businesses were leaving. People were moving out of the neighborhood. Margaret had relatives in Georgia. She had come back to a staff meeting and told her what was happening at Juneteenth in Georgia. Northcott incorporated some of the ideas. Margaret worked at Northcott Neighborhood House for many years.
Yes.
And so they incorporated some of the ideas, and starting from North Avenue to Wright Street, and from there it just blew up and grew under the leadership of Margaret, Bill Taylor, Jan Kemp Cole, and just from there it just, look at it today.
Yes, so we thank you, and you made history in this city in more ways than one. You also are one of the wonderful women behind the Legacy Bank that continues to have a legacy in this community.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
And if I could take these flowers and give them to you right now, I would.
Thank you. I've lived here my entire life.
All right, well, we are going to go to break, and we thank you so much to have the mother of Juneteenth here on the stage with us. The day can now continue on, that's for sure.
This is the 53rd annual Juneteenth Day Parade and Celebration. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You are looking at a live picture of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive as we celebrate Juneteenth today and bring you a live broadcast of the Juneteenth Day Parade that stepped off about a half hour ago. And boy, just beautiful crowds on this sunny day with a nice breeze. You guys doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm a little bit hot, but I'm from the island, so I will grin and bear.
You're used to it, right? And I think we have spotted Governor Tony Evers, 46th governor of Wisconsin, and he is in this crowd shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff. So this is just one of many elected officials that we will see taking part in today's celebration.
Yeah, and you're also seeing some dancers in that screen as well as we continue to enjoy the many dance groups that will be part of the Juneteenth Day Parade. And Frank, I was going to ask you, I feel like dance is such an important sport, skill, gathering for young people today.
Well, I'm glad you called it a sport, because it really is. It's a great activity. You know, we especially in the people of color communities that think of basketball, baseball, you know, and those types of games as sports. But dance is very physical, right? But dance is also part of African culture, including the drums that we just heard. So yes, it's wonderful to see it.
And you just saw the governor there shaking hands. As Andrea mentioned, he is in the parade, elected in 2018. He was also Wisconsin's state superintendent, so folks, when he was elected, might remember him from those days.
There's our Bader people.
There's Bader philanthropy.
That's right, that's right.
And really the importance, look at Mr. Dan Bader.
Look at him, look at him. He is in his glory.
Yes, and he plays such a huge role in just being in this Harambe neighborhood, left the 3rd Ward and thought it was important to come here in the heart of the city.
He thought that if we are to serve legitimately, we have to be with the people. if I could also mention that these days we're celebrating our values. So we're living our values, as you see. Oh, by the way, I have some values bracelets for everybody. You could see our values on the bracelet, and this is how we live and serve the people every single day.
Yeah, it says Bader: dignity, compassion, humility, integrity, service.
And service.
Yeah, and we were talking about how you wear your mission on your wrist and on your sleeve. Yeah. And I showed you the other day my bracelet I wear every day. You can tell everybody what it says.
It says created for greatness.
There you go.
Just a reminder. Just a reminder.
And that's what we should be about.
Yeah, that's what this day is about.
That's what it is.
Remember.
It is continuous improvement, heading towards perfection. We may never get there, but we're heading in that direction.
And there's our, go ahead, Susan.
I know, we're both like starting to talk at the same time. Of course, Mayor Cavalier Johnson here entering your screen as the 53rd annual Juneteenth parade continues. Mayor Johnson voted into office in April of 2022 as the 45th mayor, but what a history Mayor Johnson has had in the city of Milwaukee.
What's so important is we hear so much about the 53206 zip code, but sometimes we fail to talk about the successes of this zip code. He is one of them, and he is the first black mayor elected to this great city of Milwaukee, and he's young. So to see this young leadership of color, speaking of we've got political royalty coming through now. Alderwoman Malele Coggs. Mac, you know how much her family has played a role in this community.
Absolutely, and this is her district.
Yes.
And as we talk about the Miss Juneteenth Day pageant, Malele Coggs was the second Miss Juneteenth. And her daughter was the first, when we first did the Little Miss Juneteenth, her daughter was the first Little Miss Juneteenth.
And I think that her daughter is just a little carbon copy. So we are going to hear from another Coggs for sure. But you talk about Marsha Coggs, Isaac Coggs, Elizabeth Coggs, Priscilla Coggs Jones. Spencer Coggs, the first black city treasurer of Milwaukee. This is a historic family that, like I said, generationally continues to change the narrative.
Absolutely. They've been big contributors to what's happening and taking place in the city of Milwaukee for many, 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 many years. And it's continued to progress.
Maggie, we're talking about the importance of the Juneteenth, Miss Juneteenth for Malele Coggs. What do you think that brought her? What skills did you see her at that time that led you to believe she can do some great things?
We did. You know, a lot of people might not even realize she has a law degree. You know, but she was just a little teen.
Yeah. HBC. Graduate Fisk University. Yes.
All right, this is the Brew City Corvette Club. We want to give them a shout out as you see all of these beautiful vehicles. The organization founded in 1995, and you're going to see them scattered throughout the parade today. They are carrying the pageant winners. You saw them earlier and out here just showing off their stuff.
Now, I did a story on these guys. When I tell you they are serious about these cars, Terry Roming and Marshal Patterson Jr., they're the co-founders. J.B. Turner is the president of this club, and I said earlier, they're not just driving nice cars around town. They give back in the form of toy drives to veterans, back to school drives, all of these different things, but it's the camaraderie. And one of the guys told me, I believe it was JB, he said he remembers being in Juneteenth festivities and watching and seeing nice cars and saying, one day I'm going to have one of those cars. And he wants a child out there today sitting on the sidelines to say, I can get a car like that too, through hard work and dedication.
Absolutely.
And they really make the rounds. They're going to Flint, Michigan for a car show later this week. And Frank, I'm curious from your perspective, they must love being in this parade.
Oh,
they sign up. You don't even have to ask.
No, I mean, could you think of a better exposure for a car club than to drive down the street with all of these folks? But it just shows how what this means to a diverse set of people with a diverse set of interests. You know, it's not just a car club. As Andrew was saying, it's about, hey, let's show the people what we like, and to show them that we love being a part of this as well.
Yeah, they told me you don't just have a nice car and join this. You have to be a good person with good intention and a love for the
That's right.
community. And listen to that horse power right there.
I just love.
You know, I had the opportunity to travel with them to Memphis in May, where they enter car shows.
Yeah.
You know, and as you talk about Terry Ramey, he's a really good friend of mine. I see another good brother. I'm a Prince Hall friend, except in Mason. Fred Gray's a part of Brew City Corvette Club. He's out there in that black, beautiful Corvette.
Yes.
I mean, it's just amazing to just see all these men and women.
Mac, are you going to explain to me, like, the doors? Look at those
Those are called
doors.
suicide doors.
My
Yep.
goodness.
Now, here's
so
the thing. These guys were telling me the reason they chose Corvettes. Some of them own 2 and 3 Corvettes, and they say it appreciates. Unlike a lot of cars, you drive them off the lot and they already are less than what you paid for them, but they appreciate. And what I learned in talking to them, their friendship appreciates. The longer that they're together and they work together in this community, they have a bond that a lot of people really don't know about. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is better than coming together for a single purpose, right? They have a purpose, a love of cars, friendship, and giving back. Once, you know, you're either going to be in or you're going to be out.
That's
and
it.
it's so great to have a group of people with that shared mindset.
You know,
Frank,
the
go ahead, sorry.
Brew City Corvette Club every year helps hand out Thanksgiving baskets to families that are in need at Northcott, and they also help hand out Christmas baskets at Northcott, families that are in need.
Wow,
Absolutely.
so working together to just better the neighborhood. And I wish you at home could see some of the faces in the crowd. They're just loving all of these vehicles. Everyone's camera is out recording the Corvettes going by, and just so much smiles. So many smiles. All right, we're pulling out. This is what Andrea is laughing at, one of the drivers.
He stopped the vehicle, got out and started dancing. But this is a celebration, and today lends for all of that and more. It's all good stuff. So we continue to hear the horsepower as they roll by. And another thing, one of the cars that's owned by the members of this Brew City Corvette Club, there were 22 made, and he has number 21. And he was telling me how Morgan Freeman rode this car and all this great stuff.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a lot of things about this Corvette Club we don't know about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we know more today. That's what this parade is all about. Learning, thriving, and keeping it moving. All right. Now we've got motorcycles.
More motorcycles following the Brew City Corvette Club.
Yeah, and these.
My goodness.
That's a Milwaukee sound right there.
Yes, that is. Enjoying the beautiful, shiny Harley Davidson.
And it's not just men on these Harleys. There's some ladies that are rocking these bikes as well. Look at them representing.
Look how beautiful these bikes are.
Yeah. It's like just a small investment, huh?
Of course, Harley Davidson celebrating another anniversary coming up in about a month. I mean, the history that Harley has in this city.
Yeah, can you think of anything that defines, you know, that really relates to this city? Maybe other than beer, you know?
That's right.
That.
That's right.
And
it's
the Harley
global.
Davidson.
It's global. It has global eyes on Milwaukee and the story of how these brothers came together to create such an amazing corporation that lives on today.
I mean, can you think of any other companies that would be able to bring tens of thousands of people to one city for a celebration?
From all over the world.
Right, from all over the world. All right, we want to enjoy some dancing here.
Yes.
As we get our Royal Heat dance team.
One of our competitors today, and they are bringing the heat, I am sure. Now, Susan, they tied for first place in last year's dance competition and won $1,000. These are kids of all ages, and they love the fun, the competition, and the hard work. Those are the things that make these kids go on to do greater things, because it lays the groundwork for them to learn what it takes to be successful, and dancing is just one form of that.
We are getting them into position here so that we can watch their performance before the judges. The judges are kind of kitty corner from us, and as Andrea mentioned, Royal Heat won $1,000. They were tied for first last year, so we certainly want to take a moment here to enjoy their performance. You gotta love the outfits.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, you guys are going to hear me tout HBCUs quite a bit today, because what these young people are emulating are the dancers that you see in HBCU bands, and that goes back to the 1800s when these schools were formed. So these young ladies and men sometimes, they're able to go on to HBCUs and fit right into the bands because they've already been practicing in their youth to be on that level.
And they are ready to perform today. So let's take a moment here now. They look like they're getting into position.
Yes.
And we are going to stop and watch and enjoy.
My goodness, that's a part of the competition today, and these young people, they get about less than a minute to showcase their talent to that judge table. And of course our Cassandra McShepard is at the table putting in her two. I don't know if she's going to be like a Simon Cowell or a Paula Abdul.
Nice. Yeah, she's so nice. Again, that was the Royal Heat dance team. Those aerials that they were doing, I mean, I didn't know that we were getting acrobatics in addition to the dancing.
Incredible. I would have failed the interview to be on that team. I would tell you that right now.
We're seeing County Executive David Crowley waving to the crowd there as he goes through. And this is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School. They are a sponsor, and shout out to their principal, Anissa Hayes. They focus on the history and culture of African Americans, as you can imagine, bearing that name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And they're actually where the kids zone located, kitty corner from where we are here.
Right,
and
right across the street.
Importance of this school for this community, Frank.
Extremely important. It's probably one of the very few Milwaukee public elementary school in the city, and it really is a home for a lot of challenges at the school, and Principal Hayes has been such a blessing for those children and for the families. You can't believe how that woman's an angel.
Yes.
The things that she deals with every day.
And those babies, they really understand their history, and that's
Absolutely.
what is so important. And this day is really standing on that notion that when you know who you are, you can in fact know where you're going.
Exactly.
So we
Absolutely.
don't celebrate this today without explaining and understanding what Juneteenth is. This is not just about coming out and seeing friends. This is not just about coming out and getting good food. This is a celebration of freedom. Understand that, teach it to your children, and carry yourself as that is what we are doing today.
You're looking at Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors and other members of county government here making their way through the Juneteenth parade now. Of course, 2024 became the first board in county history to have a majority of women supervisors.
Look at that.
These 18 supervisors are elected to 2-year terms, and they do important work for the community. It's important to know who your county supervisor is, because if you have an issue, you can just pick up the phone and call them or call their office.
That's right, and they have a chairwoman who's running things, Marcelia Nicholson, first elected in 2016, and we call her Madam Chairwoman because it's not every day that we see women be able to take on these leadership roles, especially in politics. Historically, we see men in their business suits doing things, but the ladies are showing us it can be done.
I think it's important to draw your attention to why today is so special. We just saw an African-American mayor, an African-American county exec. You look at the makeup of the body of the county. What you're seeing is the future is bright because you're seeing great equity, great diversity, in our elected officials. Our elected officials are finally starting to look like the citizens they represent. And that is a great future for our city.
That's right. And what we're seeing now, and I believe that is Network Resource Group, they're coming through, and just a lot of great organizations. And Mac, I think you'll agree that Juneteenth also serves for an opportunity for people to learn about resources and organizations that exist in this city, especially with all of the vendors that are here.
Absolutely. There's a lot of informational booths out here that will really benefit this community. As you walk through the Juneteenth Day celebration and you are in need of some services, you can find them right here at Juneteenth today.
Yes, indeed.
Mac, I'm curious what your thoughts are when you see shirts like they're wearing here about freedom. That must touch a chord, touch your heart today.
Even as I was coming and I was seeing the red shirts with freedom and Juneteenth Day celebration, it really warms my heart. Because, you know, in 1863, after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, letting the slaves know they had been freed, in Galveston, Texas, they didn't find out until 1865 because it had to come from word of mouth. And then General Granger, you know, horseback with the black soldiers, went to the various communities and let the slaves know they had been freed. They came all, you know, celebrating in Jubilee. This is our day of freedom, fellowship, and unity. It's a day to celebrate.
A lot of wonderful things to think about, and I love the celebrations that we're seeing with family members. What we're celebrating right here,
look at this,
is celebrating freedom. This is a Milwaukee County Transit bus, the Juneteenth bus that was unveiled today, and it says "Celebrate Freedom" through the entire side. Our
and
history,
you're going to
our culture, our village.
I love that.
Isn't that beautiful?
You're going to see this roll through the city here and there, and there were some young people that designed this artwork that is on the side of that bus, and this is really what it's all about, taking these corporations who care about this community, because what I love most about MCTS is every December they have that Rosa Parks tribute where one chair on every bus in their fleet is reserved for her, and then they turn around and give out a scholarship in honor of Rosa Parks, and that's given back to the community.
You talked about the design of the Juneteenth bus, Andrea. True School, two students there, the artists Alex Solis and Adjoa Roma, both award winners, and really helped create what we're seeing as the vision.
And Susan, you and I both had a chance to hang out at True School. They taught you some break dancing.
Yeah. Well, I watched the break dancing.
Just so many talented kids. I love that. And of course, break dancing being one of the categories or competitions in the Olympics coming up this year, which I will add can be seen right here on TMJ4.
You know, and as we talk about the Olympics, Frank Kamabat's son is in Trinidad trying out for the Olympics.
Yes,
as
we need to watch for him.
Well,
his specialty is the 400 meter.
He'll run in the 400, but he's an 800-meter specialist. But let's not put the cart before the horse. He has to make the team, but I feel very good that he has a great chance. So thank you, Matt.
I strongly feel like to even get that far, you already won. Now here's Our Lady, Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball, also a history maker in this community.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed.
So tell us more about how Sheriff Ball just elevates her community and her neighborhood today.
Well, again, it's the message. The message. It's we need to young girls need to be inspired that careers are vast and wide, and they're open to. And all of the careers are open to them. So when they see the sheriff, an African-American female, it sends a huge message. You can do this too, right? You can do this too. We talk about law enforcement, especially in these communities, as an arresting force. No, they're protective. Those are great careers, and they should aspire
And Sheriff
to
Ball,
lead our
not
city.
only the first black sheriff here in Milwaukee County, but in the state of Wisconsin. So
That's right.
Absolutely.
She's a native of Arkansas, and when we talk about Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin really being a place where many people migrated to be able to live better lives and to thrive, she's an example of that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many others from
Yeah.
Mississippi and, like we say, Arkansas, and even a lot of people who come here from the Chicago area because Milwaukee has that big town, little town feel.
It does.
You know?
It does.
I consider it my second
to
hometown.
assimilate in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Susan Kim here with Frank Cumberbatch and Mac Weddle, along with my colleague Andrea Williams. We're bringing you live coverage of the Juneteenth Day Parade and Celebration, the 53rd, and you can see on your screen right now, really no introduction needed.
No,
but the
she
racing
doesn't.
sausages. Oh, you're...
Yeah. Oh, this racing sausage. Absolutely.
Nobody's going to be racing them with this heat today, so they can race amongst themselves, that's for sure.
There's Judge Lena Taylor passing out some goodies.
Yes. Yes. A long-time public official. She's a new judge, but she's been in the legislature for so long.
Just appointed to Milwaukee County Judge position and will be
Sworn in today during opening ceremonies. That's how much she loves this community that she chose this day, this time, to have the community be a part of it. So shout out to her. And speaking of the brewers, as we see them there with their Get Loud signs. It's the Brewer Foundation that gives back to this community in such a way. And big shout out to our girl who is the executive director, Cecilia Gore.
Cecilia Gore, just wonderful, beautiful person that makes sure that the communities, not-for-profits in the city have an opportunity to continue and expand their programs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you also see the Milwaukee Bucks are here as well. World champions.
Yes, indeed.
2021 and 71. It certainly has a nice ring to it. Hoping for more to come.
Yes, indeed. I was a part of this organization for 16 years of my career here in Milwaukee, and it's just like, talk about bringing the community together. And when we won that championship, you saw people of all races, backgrounds, creeds, religions coming together, realizing that we are a city together.
And I think we all remember the days when the Bucks weren't as good as they are now.
Hello, the days I was cheerleading, it was questionable.
And you can't mention the Bucks without mentioning Senator Cole.
Yes.
You know, who spent so much of his resources to keep the Bucks here.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of all those losses, you know, he would say, we're not going anywhere, and you have to give him a lot of credit for what he's done for that day to come to win the championship.
When Senator Cole, anywhere he would be, or if he was at a Bucks game, people would always go and thank him for his commitment to keeping the team here in Milwaukee.
Here we go. We've got another competition going here. This is Pius Catholic High School. They tied for second last year in the dance competition, walked away with $750, and they had a little step thing going there as they compete for some of that money. Love it.
And Pius Catholic High School, their mission is to prepare a diverse community of students to achieve their unique and highest potential. Great job to Pius High School.
Yes, look at this, WNOV. There's my man on the microphone on the porch with Kwabena, Anton Nixon. And now he is from Chicago, but would you talk about somebody migrating to the city and becoming a fabric of the change and the narrative? He, through a spoken word poet, his love for the young people, he makes a difference in this community. And to give him a microphone with airwaves to match, I love that.
He's a
indeed.
beautiful person. He's in all the schools working with our young people. He has changed a lot of lives for the good.
And shout out to WNOV 860 AM, Milwaukee's first black-owned radio station. The owner, Gerald Jones, just making a difference in having that vision to be the voice of this community. And TMJ4 legend, the late Bill Taylor, if people didn't know, got his start at WNOV Radio, and TMJ4 said, we need him over here.
We are watching Vertical Essence Dance Company. They are coming into your screen getting ready to perform. They were awarded second place last year in the float competition, and for that won $1,500. We talked about the importance of scholarship with the Juneteenth Day Parade, and that certainly is an important asset for these groups that are participating as well. Although I know they would dance and enjoy what they do, whether there was prize money or not, but that certainly is an added benefit. All right, here goes Vertical Essence Dance Company.
Let's go, babies. Front of a dance team doing a parade, and that float says Wisconda forever.
Vertical Essence Dance Company, their program promotes peace and keeping kids busy through the excitement of dancing. You could certainly see that in their performance and really on the dancers' faces.
Absolutely. And these young people, they're excited to show off their skills, and this keeps young people on track. You know, you sometimes get home, you do your homework, then you go to practice, because then that keeps them off the streets or away from bad influences that can say, hey, come with me over here. No, I got to go to practice.
My father had a saying when I was young, you can't be in two places at once.
That's right.
That's true.
Right? And so when, as a parent, when you know your child is at dance practice, you can have a little peace of mind knowing they're not into anything bad, if it's only for that moment. And so that's why all of these groups are so important.
All right, well, speaking of groups, we have the Alliance Dance Team ready to perform together. Their motto is togetherness.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
Oh, wow, wow. Look out.
Beautiful.
There is so much positivity.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful things happening in the city of Milwaukee.
It makes you want to cry, I swear, because I started off as a young person on dance teams with my church, and it took me all the way to the NBA. You don't know where these young people will end up in learning what it takes to be disciplined, to learn a routine, and then stay in step with your teammates. So there's so much more to it than just dancing to a beat.
And if you're watching right now and curious, Alliance Dance Team, I saw that they have tryouts next week. So
maybe I'll try out.
Yeah, if you have any male or female dancers between the ages of 4 and 18.
Maybe I'll come out of retirement.
All right,
That disqualified us back. It's between 4 and 18.
We'd have to pull out the red carpet for you, that's for sure.
Shoot, I'm 19, just 1 year off.
You know, that's an important statement, because a lot of times parents are looking for things for the children to do. They don't know where to go, where to turn.
Right.
So for them to be witnessing this parade and seeing, oh, there are things I can have my child doing is very, very important.
So the
this is great
tryouts,
for the parents.
yeah, so the tryouts Alliance Dance Team. Right now you're seeing Mount Calvary Lutheran School in your screen right now, and
they're not performing just yet, but they're coming through, and we will let you know when they do. But this organization, this is that's the Chargers, and they're not performing, but they are just showing us that they are a group, they are together, and that they are happy to be here celebrating freedom.
Mac, I know you have history just in your brain nonstop. They actually started in 1925 with 9 students, and they now have 170 students and families. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. I mean, just the growth. But they do such a fantastic job that the word got out, you know, and people want to be a part of it.
Love that.
Well, the thing I find interesting is that they actually are 170 students strong, and they're located right there on 53rd and Locust, so you can see them, drive by, and know they're doing great things. And before we head to break, in addition to sponsoring our broadcast today, U.S. Bank made a generous donation of $2,500 to Northcott Neighborhood House and the Juneteenth Parade.
And
how good is that?
Yes, amazing. TMJ4 was able to match that U.S. Bank donation through our Scripps Howard Fund, and that means a total of $5,000 for Northcott Neighborhood House.
I love that.
Excellent.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back as we continue our coverage of the Juneteenth Parade here on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. More than 160 floats, dance teams, bands, drumlines, all sorts of wonderful members of the community are here to celebrate together, and togetherness is really what it's all about.
We're actually going to make our way over to Shannon Sims. Of course, she is live, and she's ready to tell us what she's got going on, if I'm correct. Shannon, can you hear us? We'll check in with Shannon.
Shannon is going to be at the opening ceremonies when they happen later this morning, so we will certainly check it. Oh my goodness, I see Antonio Freeman!
Hey, Antonio! Come on up. You already know, buddy. We're going to get Antonio mic'd up. Of course, Antonio Freeman, legendary Green Bay Packer, part of the Hall of Fame, and been my friend for over 20 years, a long time. I feel like I've watched you grow up in
you look
many
good,
ways.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, grow, I think. I don't think we ever fully grow up, but growth is always good.
Yeah. What is it like for you to be here today?
It's always great coming back.
Come on over, Bree, and join us so everybody at home can see you. Wearing that 86 jersey for sure.
That's right. Well, it's always great to come back. I mean, a lot of my adult success happened in the state of Wisconsin, and I just remember the days of coming up to Bucks games and watching Ray Allen, Big Dog, and Sam Cassell play basketball, and you know, just the different special moments I had. Charity, food giveaways, and clothes drives. They were all here in Milwaukee, so it feels good to be able to come back. You know, because once we go back to our neighborhoods, we're just normal people.
Yeah, and Milwaukee loves you the same way. You really consider this a second home. You, of course, from Baltimore, Maryland, and we talked at a Juneteenth a couple of years ago, and you really talked about the fact that you grew up in Baltimore and you really did not know a lot about Juneteenth. There are a lot of people like that, but we continue to learn and share that information. What does it mean for you, Juneteenth in itself?
I mean, it's great to come back. I mean, to even be thought of as a person with that much influence or integrity or that much history about themselves. It's great to come back. when I come to Milwaukee, I get in the mindset of kind of being in Baltimore.
All right.
Antonio, we're going to have you stand by for just a second because that TMJ4 Storm Chaser is coming through with the many members of our staff, and we just wanted to show it off just a little bit.
Yes, all of our staff there.
Yeah, Simone Woolridge, Rod Burks there saying hello to everybody
Brown,
at
Gideon
home.
Verdeen,
Yes.
Tom Durian, Steve Shamrez. They're all here and walking. I see Brendan, 2 Brendans now. So, the Storm Chaser, of course, has a 360 camera that gives you the closest view of approaching storms. So, Antonio, when you were out on the field, they didn't have a storm chaser because you were a storm.
That's right.
Coming through, receiving, and you hold records still with the Packers, right?
Yeah, a few of them. I mean, we've had a pretty good crew of receivers to come even along after me. Just some great talent to be able to watch. When it's you out there, you think, oh, no one's going to do it like me. No one's going to do it better. But in my retirement, you know, I've seen multiple guys from the Packers, Donald Driver, Nelson, just to name a few, Devontae Adams, you know. It goes on and on and on. It's really not all about you. And you don't really, even though you're growing up, you don't have enough growth to realize that it's really not all about me yet.
Antonio, I was at Super Bowl 31.
Yeah.
I was covering it for TMJ4 at the time in New Orleans.
Wow,
and I just remember, like, what a joy. I mean, you were such a joy to watch. I don't even know how you made half the catches that you made when you were with the Packers.
You and Robert Brooks?
Yeah.
Robert Brooks was pal, catching bullets.
Always when I talk to kids, I tell them, find something you love to do. And I woke up every morning excited about going to work. I didn't have those moments where I said, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
I was living a dream, and I was making an impact. Not all of us make the impact that we want to that we all set out to do, but I'm just blessed and fortunate to be able to have had my health, my state of mind, and my talent to go out and create the memories that I've created throughout the years. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Northcott and Beta. Those guys have been holding me down in my retirement, keeping me involved in the community in Milwaukee. So I just want to say thank you for those guys for bringing me back time after time as well.
Before you go, I want to ask you, why? Why do you do this? Why is this community important to you? You come back here 5-6 times a year, but why is it important?
It's important to me because it's not just me. I spent my whole football career doing events, and it was just me and the people that invested in what I was doing. So when it's not you, and when it's not just you, it's easier to come back and be a part of a team because everybody wins and everybody loses together. It's not a one-man show. So to come back and be reattached to so many different entities that I've been involved with, not only throughout my career, but even in retirement, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
that seems to be the question.
Speaking of superstar athletes, we just had the Marquette men's basketball team make their way through. And Frank, I know you wanted to say something.
About my friend Dr. Lovell. You know, he passed last Sunday after a long bout with cancer, and you know, he has such a legacy at that university, but to pull the trigger on getting Shaka Smart to come here and be the head basketball coach has transformed this basketball team and the university and this community. You know, and so I just wanted to mention him. You know, he's been a close friend, and I'll miss him greatly. And I think the business community and all of Milwaukee will miss Dr. Lovell for a long time to come.
He was such a leader in bringing community together, too. I mean, you had many similarities in the job at hand.
He's the start of swim, scaling wellness in Milwaukee. He's been very instrumental in the North community partners on 27th Street. And it goes on and on and on and on.
But Frank, even when he was at UWM,
that's right,
he created a community engagement team that I was a part of, where we helped recruit and maintain minority students to the university, and that was under his leadership.
The public will have a chance to give their respects to Dr. Lovell tomorrow.
Absolutely. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. We've got the Beckham Stapleton Little League, the oldest African-American Little League in the U.S., and James Beckham Park, located at 900 West Brown Street. This is historic in a sense that James Beckham was a Negro League player, and now that we've seen, we're talking sports.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Juneteenth.
The Negro League having their stats added to Major League Baseball. Historic and something we definitely should keep in mind.
Long
now,
time coming.
What are we
This is
seeing
like a
here?
good time.
I think they stole my idea.
Right.
Antonio, you in the mood for a bubble bath? I don't know.
I was thinking the other kind of bubble that you blow and the kids chase.
Now, these are
That's unique.
Foam guys.
That's wonderful.
If you're curious, the name Foam Guys, they host foam, laser, and blacklight parties based in Marinette, Wisconsin. So this is how it started. The owner saw foam parties during spring break in 1990.
Wow.
And decided, why not?
Well, we definitely know that they've been here. They're leaving behind a trail.
I love it. It probably feels pretty good on a hot day like today.
And Free, it's so good to have you here joining us. We just wanted to call you up and definitely recognize you coming back to this community and showing your love, the same amount of love that you have for them, we have for you.
Yeah.
So keep on representing and keep on coming back.
I appreciate it.
So good
Happy
to see you.
Juneteenth, everybody.
Yes.
Always good to see you, boss.
Bye, Antonio.
It's free time.
Antonio Free.
All right, Free, great to see you. And we're going to continue looking at all the great images that we're seeing on our screens. These are Jeeps. Hey, I see some ladies from my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, representing the pink and the green.
You know, cars are such a community, aren't they? We saw the Corvette Club earlier. We see all these Jeeps now looking beautiful and shiny. And community, whether it's cars or dancing, is so important and part of today.
Very important. It gives you a chance to be creative. Look at these vehicles. I would never think about doing that with my car. My wife will kill me, but
The question is, Frank, who got the keys to the Jeep? And music playing a big role in today's parade as well. You hear it coming through. If your ears aren't made for loud music, you might want to watch it on TV.
yes. Culture.
That's right, baby.
It's African American culture. Music. Vehicles. Food.
And still the foam flying all over. Well, you can't complain because it's not necessarily leaving a mess on the cars, right?
Yeah, no, that caused no harm.
The foam is definitely at an effect. You know what I'm saying? At least.
You know, Juneteenth gives people an opportunity to see the greatness of this city and all the different activities and organizations and that are doing good and positive things.
Yes, sir. And Mac, you really have watched a lot of these organizations grow over the years as well.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I'm so excited, to be here with you all and to be at the 53rd, 53 years. Isn't that wonderful?
Wonderful indeed.
Yes, and we are loving having you here with us. We have much more of the Juneteenth parade to come. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Be right back.
welcome back as TMJ4 continues our coverage of the Juneteenth celebration, the 53rd annual event, and there are thousands of people here just enjoying a beautiful day and a beautiful parade.
It is.
And it's a pleasure to be sitting next to my friend here, Mr. Mac Weddle. We've got Frank Cumberbatch, my cohort, I call her, Susan Kim. I'm Andrea Williams, and we are just thrilled to be able to allow you to see all the positivity that's coming down this street right here, right now. We're on the corner of King and Concordia, right over by Bader Philanthropies, and we've got G's Clippers, who is a person who plays a
Barber to the stars.
There he is.
How are you?
Come on up and say hi to us. Now, G, of course, you can catch up because you run marathons. It's great to see you, G.
How you doing there, big bro?
I've been calling you.
And in true G fashion, he's
What's up,
going
man?
around saying hi to everyone.
Good to see y'all.
G's got a wellness clinic right inside G's Clippers. He's had that there since 2023, and you talk about being ingrained in the community and doing what needs to be done. The Barbershop has always played a historic role in the black community, and to put a wellness center in that is just really showing his ability to think forward. I call it space agent.
And the commitment to Milwaukee for sure. Now, there's G. Speaking of keeping hydrated, that's important to do. And you were going to say something.
I was going to say, you know, that is the place where black men go to speak their mind. The black men will say something in a barbershop that they won't tell their family.
That's true.
And we get a lot of healing going on in a barbershop. So this wellness clinic makes absolute sense.
And he could see that. Right now we're looking at the Student Transportation of America providing shuttle service here as part of Juneteenth. And the company started in 1997, and it's recognized on Forbes' list of America's best employers in 2024.
Wow, that says a lot. They did a great job decorating this school bus.
Yeah.
I'm sure it took a ladder or two.
Right, but they were thinking, and that's the thought, because it's certainly a message of freedom and family that they wanted to share today.
That's what it's all about. And also we see Kalen Haywood. The sensational 16th district is what he calls it, and this is a young man that I watched be the president of the Youth Common Council, and he used to always say, I'm going to be in politics. I thought, yes, when you get older. 19 years old, he became a state representative, and it just goes to show, don't underestimate people based on age.
It's in his genes.
Yes, indeed.
When you talk about young people, I mean, Kalen went to Rufus King, and just the growth at 19 to say, yes, I can be a state leader.
Yeah,
absolutely.
State Senator LaTanya Johnson, we just saw her. She's representing District 6. She also previously served in the Assembly. She was elected in 2016, also making a difference. And there's Kalen passing us right now. Hey there, young man.
And Kalen brought out the Cybertruck. My goodness.
Wow.
That's interesting, right?
Does anybody own one of those in real life?
I've just only seen one or two around in our area, but he's coming out and making a statement, that's for sure. The young people these days.
Yeah. Now, there's somebody on the sideline. When we were kids, did you ever play this, guys? That's my car. Did you ever play that, Mac? Now that's my car.
Yes, we did.
Now you see the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. Of course, Milwaukee is hosting the RNC later in July. The DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is coming up in August, and that will be held in Chicago.
Yes, indeed. We see you. And this is really Milwaukee having so many eyes on it for so many reasons. This summer in particular, the RNC, regardless where you stand on the political spectrum, it's a big deal economically to have a convention of that size come to this city and have people from all over the globe look at us, what we're doing, and really make a difference and remind everybody we are here.
Well, I think the Democratic Mayor Cavalier Johnson said he likes the color green, right?
Yes.
when getting
there it is.
Yes, and there's our friends from the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative. They are located in West Allis, and the things that they do for our veterans, making sure they are all good, they have shelter, and resources that they need to stay above the grain, because sometimes our veterans slip through the cracks and they don't have the
Batman.
Wow. Is that Robin on that?
And Robin.
And what better way for resources with the Homeless Vet Initiative that was founded in 2008 and run by veterans, because veterans know the needs of other veterans.
Yes, indeed.
The best.
And with that said, the VA has their U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs that's coming through for everyone to see as well. Connection, camaraderie, community, that's what it's all about. And we are seeing people from so many different parts of this community come together in this city, in the heart of the city.
I was just going to say that.
Go ahead, Matt. Okay,
No,
so.
I was just going the different cultures, ethnic groups.
Well, and I was just going to say, we're going to see several veterans groups right now. The Center for Veterans Issues will be coming through, Milwaukee County Vet Services, Wisconsin Veterans Network, UW Vet Office, Brew Troopers Veteran Services. I mean, Frank.
And passing by now is Varsity Blood Center of Wisconsin. Just wanted to make mention of that.
I was going to say about all of the veterans partaking. I'd be remiss if I don't mention General Bob Cockcroft. You know, the general was so instrumental in bringing the attention to the African American vet. You know, they had no resources, and General Cockcroft, wouldn't you say, Mac, has been? I mean, the man left his mark.
Oh yes.
Milwaukee.
Matter of fact, Frank, he was a graduate of North Division High School.
Yeah.
I happened to play on the same tennis team.
Is that right?
With General Cockcroft.
That
in high school. Yes.
Awesome, you know.
And a big shout out to my man Homer Blow. Homer Blow does a birthday party for the kids through the Homer Blow Foundation Incorporated. Longtime DJ in this city, and I just love him. He has a heart of gold.
Great guy.
Yeah. Quick statement about Varsity. You know, I'm sure everybody knows how sickle cell anemia, affects African Americans, right? And it's so great to see Varsity down at Thrive On building and becoming such a presence.
Saving lives
community.
every day.
Absolutely. That research is going to be very important.
All right. Once again, this year the Juneteenth celebration includes a teen zone, and that's where young people will be able to learn to double dutch and even learn to ride horses, thanks to the Black Cowboys and Buffalo Soldiers Association.
That's right. The Milwaukee chapter was founded 65 years ago by Mr. Isaac Steele, and the organization has participated in Juneteenth festivities, believe it or not, for 45 years. 15-year-old Anthony White, he's a great example. Frank, I know you'll really appreciate this, of how important it is to not only understand your history, but to pass it on to others as well. Here he explains why he prefers to be called a black horseman other than a cowboy.
The name Black Cowboy comes from a slave master. It was a houseboy, a field boy, and a cowboy. Hey boy, go out and get that cow. Hey boy, go out and get that horse. The white cowboys came and took over the name due to the sports, as of bulldogging, which was created by Bill Pickett, team roping, calf roping, bareback riding, bull riding. They took the name cowboy and mixed it up, and so it's not in our history book. So us as kids in the inner city don't know what that is or what the logical name of term is.
Yeah, I was so impressed with this young man's knowledge of self. I learned that the first cowboys were actually black, Native American, and Mexican, and that Bill Pickett, who he mentioned, was born in 1870 and was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in 1989. So the lesson here, the message, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom.
That's right. And you know, one shout out I didn't make is the shout out to philanthropy as a whole. To fund these small organizations that's so important so they can teach.
Welcome back to Milwaukee's Juneteenth Parade and Celebration. Our history, our culture, our village is the theme for the 53rd Juneteenth Day Parade. Welcome back. I'm Susan Kim here with Frank Cumberbatch, Mac Weddle, and my colleague Andrea Williams as we continue our live coverage of this Juneteenth Parade.
All right, it looks like we've got another competition. Divas in binding?
Diamonds.
Divas in diamonds.
It's loud here, folks.
It's loud. It's loud.
It is loud.
They're getting sprayed down with a little mist so they can stay cool and get ready to show Milwaukee and everyone watching what they're working with.
And they have competed in Milwaukee since 2014. They've also traveled to Indiana, New Orleans, and Atlanta, so they are used to performing in big celebrations and big atmospheres.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like they're setting up. Seconds and showed everybody that they can rock it out in boots and a pair of Jordans. I like that.
Well, and it just goes to show the importance of dance, and you can just see how much they love to dance and to perform.
Hello, our friends with the Greater Milwaukee Urban League. They are coming through, and needless to say, TMJ4 has a wonderful relationship with all of these beautiful people as well.
You see Dr. Eve Hall?
Yes, hi, Dr. Hall.
Greater Milwaukee Urban League, doing some wonderful things.
Wonderful work.
Wonderful work right there on the corner of what is now Dr. Finlayson.
Yeah, yes, Dr. Finlayson Street.
And we are seeing Enterprise come through, and everybody that's somebody is a part of this celebration. And when we say that the community is coming together to celebrate, that's in every sense of the word. Everybody wants to be a part of it.
Can you tell us about hyphen culture?
You know, hyphen is part of based off of 88.9. It's to bring black music and culture into the mainstream.
And one thing I love about hyphen, I see Kim Shine there, and our man Tariq.
Tariq, I was trying to remember Tariq's.
Yeah, they call him the architect because he has a degree from HBCU, Howard University, in architecture.
Oh, yes. and you know, and he's so versed in high technology.
Yeah, Tariq Moody, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And it's a media movement, like you said, as Milwaukee's only urban alternative radio station. So we appreciate the work that they are doing as well. Now look at these beautiful queens.
My goodness, yes, hello.
I love what we're seeing, and this, of course, an opportunity for young ladies to be the belle of the ball, and they are representing in true, they look like Southern belles to me, so we'll call them Northern belles.
And they have their beautiful white umbrellas, which certainly coming in handy today.
That works today.
Yes, especially.
It's teaching the etiquette, the manners, what it takes to be a lady.
Yes. In the North.
Yes, in the North. And really, Mac, you have been a part of this for so many years as the former executive director. When you see these young people come through, a lot of them you knew as babies.
Came up through Northcott. Well, Northcott had the first Black Head Start program in the state of Wisconsin in 1964.
Wow.
And so a lot of young people today came up through Northcott's Head Start program. And not only as they grew and got older, they came through our youth programs also. And so I see a lot of young folks out here that are lawyers and doctors that came up through Northcott Neighborhood House.
You must be so proud seeing them today as adults.
I really am.
Finding
It's just
success.
wonderful just seeing and being here in this environment today.
They're rolling up, and they're literally rolling up. Red, bike, and green, and ebony eyes of collective of black urban cyclists. And this is just wonderful. Riding in the parade today is Aisha McGowan. She's the first African-American woman professional cyclist. So when you talk about being healthy, bike riding, of course, is one way, but she's not only riding a bike, she's riding into history. I love that in every way. They were actually founded in 2007 in Oakland, California. They've got chapters in Atlanta, Milwaukee, of course, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and Oakland. I love it.
So the next time a parent says to me, I don't have anything for my child to do, I'm going to give them the look. You know, because the amount of opportunities we've been lifting up today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have a bike, join the group.
That's right. Give them the side eye.
Yeah,
that's what we call it.
Well, and there, I mean, obviously numerous dance groups that we've seen.
Plenty.
And every single one of them that I looked at, they are so open and welcoming. I mean, they will work with you. One dance group even would work with families for transportation if maybe transportation is an issue to get to practice. They just want people to be together and to create a community.
Yeah, and the goal here with these young people and people of all ages on these bikes is to improve the health, economy, and local environment of African Americans by creating a relevant and sustainable black bike culture. Love that.
I'm looking behind me because I also see the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee coming in. That's the white van that you see on your screen right now, followed by the school bus drivers. They are hiring.
Susan, I must give the Boys and Girls Club
Yes.
kudos because I'm a product of the Boys Club.
Oh, yes, you are.
It helped me be who I am today.
And shout out to my good friend and sorority sister, Kathy Thornton Bias, who really is running the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee in a wonderful way. Proud of her as well.
That's right.
As we continue to look at, we get a bird's eye view in many instances of what's coming up the street, and it gives you pride, because that is really what this is about, being proud of who we are, where we've been, and where we are going. Our history, our culture, our village, that is today's theme, and we are seeing that play out. Here's Wanda Montgomery coming up from the village of Brown Deer.
Yeah, a suburb of the city, the first African American to lead that village. So again, we're extending into the suburbs.
And Mac, as one of the founders, creators of Juneteenth Celebration here in Milwaukee, I know before we started, you're talking about how amazed and touched and excited you are for the day, but as you see this parade pass us by, I would imagine it just keeps getting better and better for you.
It just excites me even more because it's gotten bigger and more people are getting more involved with the parade and with Juneteenth within itself, because it brings so much to our city.
Now that wonderful beat of the drums that you hear, Nefertari African Dance Company, just renowned dance company here in our community, and we want to listen in here for a little bit.
See them perform and know that it's just in your DNA.
It's just in there.
Can't be taught. It's just
Can't
there.
take it out.
And listen to the types of places and events they have danced at. Bicentennial White House Celebration in '76, the Apollo Theater, world famous in New York. Festivals of Nations, Disneyland in California.
Wow.
And Frank, this goes to the point that you've been making this morning, providing young people of African descent an avenue of expression and pride in their culture.
Yeah, I mean, if you add up all of these organizations and you distribute them, you realize they can make a difference.
All right, before we had to break, we asked some folks in the community what Juneteenth means to them.
Juneteenth is a celebration of unity, it's a celebration of freedom, and that's for everybody. This is American history, this is world history.
Look at that bird's eye view.
Welcome back as we take this bird's eye view of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, and the parade participants continue to making their way down on this Juneteenth day.
Beautiful sight indeed, and this goes for a mile and a half at least. And there's so much to see as you walk this mile and a half. Vendors, food. What's your favorite part of Juneteenth, Matt?
You know what? My favorite part when it comes to eating.
I like to eat too, don't worry.
I like the broth, the corn, and the turkey legs.
We see big brothers, big sisters there in your screen right now, of course. Such an important part of our community, serving 1,300 young people between the ages of 6 and 20 here in Milwaukee and Waukesha counties. And I think we all have had a first-hand experience with big brothers, big sisters.
So needed for a very long time.
It's all about mentoring, and really there are some really good kids out there, but they might be an only child. They may not have somebody to take them to a ball game, may not have someone to help them do their homework, but that's where Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metro Milwaukee comes into play. They provide that individual who will be there in those ways that, you know, parents can't always do everything. So being a mentor, you can help a child in many ways. It doesn't have to be a troubled child, just a child that needs a little more attention.
And just exposure to other things in their community. I mean, they might not know about the different job opportunities perhaps, or events that are going on, and just having another person, another voice in their life.
Just to make them feel human.
Yeah.
That's all they want. They don't want to know about careers and all of that yet. They just want to say, notice me. You know,
absolutely.
I'm here, notice me, and you just do that.
You know, you don't see it, but there's a young lady dressed in green. Her name is Philandra Ford. She's a female referee. She came up through Northcott. This past year, she was inducted into Wisconsin State Referees Association.
Yes, and she's standing right over to the side of Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy. That's who we're seeing right now. And of course, bearing the name of former MPS superintendent and civil rights activist, Dr. Howard Fuller. Love him so much. Shout out to you, Dr. Fuller, if you're watching.
And a graduate of North Division High School.
I knew he was going to say that. I just knew he was going to say that.
Listen, Frank, if you didn't go to North Division or Lincoln, I don't know if you got anything to say if you're in the old school.
Well, and you just knew when he wasn't superintendent anymore, he wasn't just going away. I mean, he knew he was still wanting to make a difference here.
Absolutely. And they're going to be in this new beautiful building.
Beautiful building. You know,
$20 million.
Yes, and kudos to Corey Nettles and some of the others to raise those funds and bring that to King Drive again. The growth of King, of King Drive. So it's a beautiful thing. Mac, if I might, talk a little bit about what was the role of high school in your day? Why is it so important for you to mention every time North Division High School?
Because you know what, we had nothing but love. Teachers, the students, the neighborhoods. I mean, all the sports that we participated in on weekends, the teachers would bring their families. We didn't want to miss high school, because if you miss the door of high school, you really miss family. You really miss your friends.
I want you to talk about all the great names that have come out of North Division High School, because then I think you'll understand.
What are we talking about? Yes.
Dr. Howard Fuller. Ralph Holman used to be the president of Urban League. Salim Alameen of New Horizons. Dr. Marvin Pratt, former mayor of the city of Milwaukee. First black police chief Arthur Jones come out of North Division High School.
Shall he go on?
I can just go on and on and on.
Why did I bring this up? Why did I open my mouth to talk about North Division?
You have a couple hours here, Frank, or what?
Frank Gatson Jr., who is a world-renowned choreographer, he went to North Division, and he has a lot of love. Now, this man choreographed for Beyonce for many, many years, and Money Love, all these new artists that are coming along. In Vogue, who's going to be performing at Summerfest in the next couple of days. We have some great people who have come through North Division. So, Frank, I guess I helped Mac.
Yes, you did.
Right now, you're seeing Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. 100% college acceptance rate, and many of them first-generation college students.
I love that.
It's a great school.
They are located at 18th and National, and their class of 2023 actually earned $17 million in scholarships and grants. So we are proud of young people who are able to take advantage of those scholarship dollars and go on to do great things.
And by the time they graduate, get this, they've completed 1,250 hours of professional work experience. So they're graduating not only with a great education, but also workplace experience that will certainly help them as they go on to college.
And learning one of our values, service. Service to community. Nothing
and
like
hard work. It pays off to work 5 full days per month at companies across Milwaukee. They are learning that hard work certainly pays off. That's what it's all about. And we're continuing to see great acts come through. The Dream Dolls Dance Company. Look at these outfits.
That's quite the presentation.
Yes, indeed.
Out of Chicago.
Oh, representing Chi-Town. Well, we can use a little wind from the Windy City on this hot day.
Mac, they came up to participate in Juneteenth Day here in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee.
And these young people are aged 7 to 18. And they are proud with their hands on their hips, the little ones all the way up to the bigger ones. And this is what I mean when I say discipline in dance. There is a protocol when you put on that uniform. You have to know how you're going to act, know what it's supposed to be looking like, and having your hands on your hips, standing at attention.
Right.
That's how you do it.
I had a little dancer in my family, and I tell you, the little ones just get you. They're so cute, aren't they?
You can't take your eyes off them.
No, they're so cute.
They're going to perform. What a treat. All right. I love to see the babies. Like you said, Susan, the little ones, look at that. Hey, keeping up with the big dogs.
Yes.
They're so sweet, and I love seeing the smiles on their faces, and boy, can they move.
Yeah, yeah. I remember those days. You go home, your uniform is soaking wet, but you had fun and you made a memory, and that's what this is all about. Now just think about it. They've got about an hour and 30-minute ride home, but it's well worth it because they've come to Milwaukee to celebrate Juneteenth, which is a testament to how big this celebration is and continues to grow.
Absolutely.
We're seeing now coming through, this is Muhammad Mosque number 3, representing the Nation of Islam, and we've got student ministers, William Muhammad, one of my favorite people in this city. There's also David Muhammad, of course, who is a student captain, all well known for doing great things and making a difference in this community. And you talk about discipline. This is another level of discipline.
Yeah, no, that's the holy grail right there. I mean,
yes, indeed.
It's amazing.
And we are also seeing yes, and we are just seeing a display of, like I said, the discipline that goes along with Muhammad Mosque number 3. Talking about giving back to the community and really playing a role of keeping young people in check and reminding them who they are, they are, and how they come from greatness.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect for that because humans have a sense of belonging. We all want to belong to something, you know? We know we belong to our families, but beyond that, we want to belong. A church, a team, wear a uniform, so we have something that binds us, and that's what this is.
Yes, indeed.
It's what this is.
You know, and I think that's interesting, too. You talked about the exposure today brings for people who are here and also for the people who are in the parade, exposure to people and programs that they might not be aware of or know much about.
Yeah, you know, I think sometimes we forget there are African Americans who are Jews, who are Muslims, who are Christian. You know, we spend just about all the religions, and sometimes they get a little transformed into their own, and this is what keeps it alive. Because without it, we will forget that we belong to these groups.
And we hear the sirens now, the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters. They assist the city of Milwaukee with its goal and desire to not only serve and protect in the event of an emergency, but really they also have this brotherhood that only they can understand. They are together, they stay in the firehouse. When there's an emergency, they got to be ready to go, and they then at that moment put themselves on the back burner.
Well, and you heard them before you saw them, right?
That's true. Here they are right now, and we thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Indeed. Takes a lot of dedication to be a firefighter. Think about that. Somebody who fights fire.
And when you talk to any firefighter, they talk about why they became a firefighter, and it's because they wanted to do something to help the community in some way.
That's right. And all of that camaraderie is to build trust. That when you're in that smoke-filled building, you don't have time to wonder if your partner is looking out for you.
Now here we have the Lady and King Supremes Basketball Club that you'll see coming up here. Now with the WNBA being so huge right now, I mean, all eyes on the ladies who are balling. This is an example. They've always had women to look up to with the WNBA, but I think we're seeing the league grow in a different way, and these young ladies, they are a new AAU basketball club for 5th through 8th graders, and they focus on developing players on and off the court. It was established by a mother and daughter just last year,
And
Susan.
if you're watching them, I mean, boy, can they dribble.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And the fact that this level of competition has been developed for 5th through 8th graders, it just shows you just how popular the sport is and the need and perhaps want to provide opportunity for young ladies.
That's right, crossover queens. That's what I
That's
call
right.
it. Yeah, they got the crossover and the skills, and like I said, their future's bright in having their eye on something like basketball.
Women's sports are about to explode. And I can't emphasize enough that if you have a daughter, put your child into sport, the sport they want to play multiple sports, you know, because it's very important for their development.
We are now looking at Northwest Catholic School. They're getting ready to perform. They're at 41st and Good Hope. They have kids from K4 all the way up to 8th grade. And they are a choice program participant and a Boys and Girls Club partner. We talked about the Boys and Girls Club and all the great stuff that they do in our community. So they are partners with Northwest Catholic School.
Yes. They've got a flag performance going on as we speak. Good stuff. And these young people, they're proud of the things that they've been practicing and learning, and they finally, in many instances, get a chance to show it off to the masses. A lot of times when we have performances, Susan, you know, as a stage mommy in many ways, only the parents can see what has it, but now the whole community can see their hard work and the great things that they're capable of doing. Now, Mac, when we talk about the programs and services that happen at Northcott, of course, Tony Kearney, you pass the torch on to him, but it's not just Juneteenth that Northcott really does in this community. The list goes on.
Well, absolutely. The youth programs, the job training programs, building new houses within the community, working with a lot of ex-offenders, getting them certified.
Yeah.
Where they can go anywhere now and work. We've had, like when they built Fiserv Forum, we had men and women working on that project that wouldn't have had that opportunity if it hadn't been for Northcott Neighborhood House.
Yes,
Northcott serves over 10,000 people a year.
Now you may be hearing some music there in the background. I believe this is the Diamond Royals dance team coming onto your screen right now, and we are lucky enough to have a performance by them. They were just established this year. Yeah, and their whole group, the idea is to bring family together with children and to be one family.
Yeah, their motto is Diamond, Shine Bright, and we are family. And to shine bright like a diamond, we tell young people, be a chandelier in the room.
That's right.
All right, so let's take a moment here and watch Diamond Royals dance team.
I would not like to be a judge. This competition has been tremendous.
Well, it's not easy judging these groups, but let me tell you something. Dancing on this concrete right here is not easy. They make it look easy.
And some don't even have shoes on.
They don't even have shoes on.
Right. That's hot pavement they're dancing on. And we see Pathfinders, and there's no wrong door to enter Pathfinders. I love that concept. They offer a variety of inclusive and welcoming services to give youth stability, healing, and empowerment, the housing, clinical services, and a whole lot more. We are going to actually go to break, and this year's festival, believe it or not, before we had to break, has nearly 500 vendors selling everything from mouth-watering food to one-of-a-kind art.
We have vendors from 11 different states traveling as far away as California to set up shop here on King Drive. Vendors will be lined up for nearly a mile on King Drive, starting from just south of where we are here at Concordia, all the way to Center Street. And welcome back to TMJ4's live coverage of this year's Juneteenth Day Parade and Celebration as we take a live look right now. Our bird's eye view as you can see the parade making its way down Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in the heart of Milwaukee.
53 years we've been celebrating this outstanding festival. This year's theme, our history, our culture, our village. And really it does take a village to pull together something like this, thanks to our friends at Northcott and Bader and all of the sponsors who have come together to make this possible today.
And Mac and Frank continue to join us to provide perspective and excitement over the parade today. And we continue to watch the parade and nearly 170 entrants in the parade this year.
Now we see that's Alpha Phi Alpha that's on your screen right now. The first, repeat first, Black Greek organization founded by black men in the U.S. They were founded in 1906 at Cornell University. And it's so hot today, we need that ice, baby. Too cold. The most famous member, A-Phi-A, is, in my opinion, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was a graduate of Morehouse College. And now we are seeing the National Pan-Hellenic Council coming up, and they're collaborative umbrella council composed of historically black fraternities and sororities known as the Divine Nine. And so they are represented, and those brothers are A-Phi-A. You see them on your screen right now. And at any time, you're going to hear them holler out, 06.
You sound like you've heard it once or twice before.
Oh, just a few times. They are considered my brothers with my sorority. So
Nice.
There's Alpha Kappa Alpha, and they are Alpha Phi Alpha.
You know, there's so much pride with the black fraternities and sororities.
Yes.
You just can't help but feel like the love no matter what.
Absolutely.
And then we have, I just mentioned my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Oh, here they are.
And they are with the Pauline Redmond Cogs Foundation. So they actually have this annual debutante cotillion, and These ladies are wearing the pink and the green. They're the first black Greek sorority founded in 1908 at Howard University. And I might add, Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is a proud member.
And how many pink items of clothing and green items of clothing, Andrea, do you have?
I have a whole pink and green room. I really do. A lot of people can. This is Epsilon Kappa Omega chapter, which was founded in 1949. And you think about people like Mabel Ramey, who was a black lawyer. There is a plaque right outside Marquette's Law School paying honor to Mabel Ramey, who really set the tone for the Bell Phillips and all of those people. Right. And we can't forget that. They recently bought a headstone for her at the cemetery because awesome. For so many years they did not realize that there was none. Here's the men of Kappa Alpha Psi, also known as the Noops, and you know they like to twirl the canes. Right. The pretty boys, we call them at HBCUs.
Why are they the pretty boys?
Oh, well, just look at them. Look, see that little move? They're the pretty boys. They say pretty to my left, pretty to my right. They're so pretty, they can't sleep at night. See, now, we have the Omegas as well. Omega Psi Phi, also known as the Q Dogs. They're coming up very soon. But the Kappas, they're dedicated to brotherhood and service in the black community, as all of these fraternities are today. The Omegas, you guys, you can chime in at any time.
Well, I mean, when it comes to black, fraternities,
manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, they were founded in 1911. And I can tell you what, if we were to play George Clinton's Atomic Dog anywhere, in the grocery store, anywhere, they're liable to stop what they're doing and break out. Yes, this is what they're doing.
And they are getting ready in position here. We are going to get to watch a performance.
I love it.
Yes, and famous members of Omega Psi Phi include Michael Jordan.
That's right.
Attorney Ben Crump, Lieutenant Governor L. Douglas Wilder. So some big names part of this organization as well. Okay, so let's watch them.
Yes. And what they're doing is called stepping, a historical form of communication and storytelling. That, ladies and gentlemen, those are the Q Dogs. If you hear them barking, that's what they do.
Marcel Clark of Paradise Funeral Home and Williamson's Funeral Home is also a Q Dog.
Yeah, there are a lot of Qs around town, across the country, and they really do care to give back to this community.
You got the Deltas coming up here, Andrea.
Now, you have the brothers and sisters of each of these sororities and fraternities. The Deltas are the sisters to the Qs, and they are proud women indeed. Founded in 1913 by 22 women at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And they are proud in their crimson and cream for sure. And I talked earlier about the National Panhellenic Council, and so we're seeing members of the Divine Nine come through now. These are members of Phi Beta Sigma, the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma, wearing the blue and the white. They're right behind the Deltas, and then behind the Sigmas, you've got their sisters, the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. A lot of pride in just wearing these colors. You ask me how many things I own in pink and green. Ask them how many things they own in their respective colors. It's something, it's not just the fun of being a part of it in your college years. Some people do it in their graduate years, you know, in their older age, but
it stays with them.
It stays with you. Once you're a member for life, and you understand that it's service to your community, and that's what you work towards in order to make a difference.
And Frank, you must love seeing the young people here gathered in the community that you're seeing right here on the street.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because again, you know they can't be in two places at once. They recognize that this is important, and they came out to support it. But Andrea, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Matt.
Yeah.
Put the fraternities and sororities in context of black culture. Where is it? What would you say it is to the overall culture of the African American people?
Well, when you think about the fact that when you hear us talk about historically black colleges and universities, they exist because African Americans were not allowed to attend school with others. And so with that came sororities and fraternities that were in the predominantly white schools that we also could not be a part of. So what happens when you come upon that, you create your own, and these things have lasted for years. The founders have set the tone of what they hoped at the time would continue on, and that mission continues. These are the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho, and they wear the gold and the blue, and their mascot's the poodle. And yeah, they're doing a little two-step for you as they come through, but really, regardless what sorority or fraternity that you see today, the common goal is really service to all. And there's a lot of rivalry that goes on. I tell you, you think North Division talks a lot of stuff.
That's right.
There's a lot of that goes on when it comes to this. But at the end of the day, it's brothers and sisters. Look at this beautiful horse that we are seeing on the screen.
We also have Lisa K Catering coming by our location as well. And
also, Susan, with Lisa K Catering, they're catering service, but they're getting ready to open up a new restaurant on 38th and Valete. So that should be happening within the month.
And 2015 winner of the American Culinary Federation Chef of the Year. So I would imagine some delicious stuff.
I've had her food on several occasions, but what I love is that they give back to the children. She holds these sessions where kids learn how to cook, and that is something special indeed. This is Wisconsin Community Services with this beautiful horse that's going past us.
Yeah. I should also say that Lisa K, I'm very proud to say that she is one of the caterers to Bader Philanthropy. And it's so wonderful to have her.
And Lisa K Catering, we opened up our doors in Northcott, our kitchen to her when she was starting out.
And you talk about giving back to the community, a prime example of that right
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. And there's a nice little breeze that's coming through, so we all can appreciate that as we celebrate freedom today. Coming up is the Wisconsin America pageants, and these young ladies are wearing their crown and waving like true queens should.
They've got the wave down, that's for sure, and just having a wonderful time. We also have Souls to the Polls, 100 women on the move. They are participating in the Juneteenth Day celebration today as well. The talk of just how important Wisconsin is in the presidential election that is coming up this fall. And
yes, indeed. Nonpartisan, so shout out to Pastor Greg Lewis, who nonstop working to make sure people understand they need to have their voices be heard, regardless what side.
And you see Wisconsin Voices, speaking of voices, coming through the parade right now.
Wisconsin Voices. Now, they are a grassroots movement, and they want to remind people to remember that what they stand for, and they make a plan that everyone can contribute. So they actually take questions from individuals who care about the issues, and they present those questions to the candidates, whoever they may be, to help people amplify their voice. So that's what that's all about.
Yeah, and they try to reach out to underrepresented constituencies, developing strong leaders who will never stop fighting for the issues that they believe in to make sure that the information is available to everyone.
The most valuable currency we have, a vote.
That's it. That is it. And I see just a lot of people walking through, seeing each other. It's always a reunion, that's for sure.
Well, you talk about family, right? I mean, Juneteenth
Barnes right here in
is about family. Yes, the former lieutenant governor there saying hello to folks in the parade, making his way through as well.
Yeah, I got my back turned because I'm just like loving everything, and it just keeps coming. How many entries do we have in today's parade, Susan?
Yeah, it was close to 170, unless there were some last-minute entrants today.
You know there will be. Guaranteed.
But to say that over 100 people had Juneteenth on their calendar, circled, saying we got to be a part of it, that is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Look at this tour, Democracy Tour, Building Unity, Wisconsin.org. Peace, justice, democracy, sustainability. So again, Wisconsin voices heard loud and clear.
That's right.
City of Glendale, another outstanding suburb right there on our screen.
And what does it say to you, Frank, that surrounding communities want to be part of this parade today?
Yeah, because I think that the suburbs finally, I think, understand the value of being a part of Milwaukee. This is the epicenter, the largest city in the state. This is our financial, community. It's a business community. So it is valuable for the suburbs to participate in this parade. And I tell you, black wealth has gone up. And so people have a choice of where they want to live. And if they want to live in Glendale, they should live in Glendale or Browndale or West Dallas.
Absolutely. And coming together, that's what this is also about. Really, a lot of times people mistakenly refer to Juneteenth as a black holiday. This is not a black holiday.
Absolutely.
This is the second Independence Day in America, because we're talking about something that has had a huge significance when you talk about the history of this country. Slavery is something that none of us are proud of. Nobody advocates for inhumane treatment of anybody.
That's right.
So to see where we were and where we are today, we still have a long way to go, but we have made progress, and that's what Juneteenth is about.
And I think it says a lot. Yeah, making progress and the celebratory nature. I mean, people here are so happy to be here. They're happy to see each other, to join together in community and faith in many cases as well. So really just a wonderful day to represent.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, to represent Milwaukee.
The white van, St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care. They're located on 24th and North Avenue, and their mission is to provide community-based health and educational service for children and frail adults, to serve as resources to support caregivers. But also on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8:30, they have a band shell and have live entertainment. You bring your lawn chairs, they have vendors, and even after the festival is over today, they'll be celebrating from 6:30 to 8:30 on 24th and North Avenue.
Well, and that intergenerational connection that St. Anne does, it's so important because it's young and old together, just learning about each other and being together in community.
Absolutely. And
so
the founder of St. Anne's is here, along with Gloria Miller.
They do a lot of great work.
Well,
I mean, Sister Edna is a force.
Yes.
We're hearing
She's here.
Yeah.
We're hearing these engines, and they are reminding you that they are here. Now, these are some old school vehicles right here. I almost feel like we need to start playing Superfly or something, What do we say? Now, I'm not trying to age you, Mac, but you were around when these cars were on the lots and for sale, plentiful. Now they are considered a collector's item.
1972s, I was born way before then. We called deuce and a quarters,
Is that what they were called?
Deuce and a quarters, right?
Mac, tell the truth. Which one did you have? Tell me what you had. What did you have?
Oh, my dad always had a Cadillac.
A Cadillac.
Bill Smith, I come from a family of 16, but we always had a car.
Oh, my goodness.
They're so beautiful, though, and you can tell just the pride and ownership with these vehicles that the drivers have, and the sound.
Now, if they're anything like my uncle, they wake up and go outside and wipe their car off.
Absolutely.
And spray the tires so they can shine. And these guys have rims.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm, they are beautiful.
They are definitely head turners when they drive down the street.
My dad had a red one. I do remember that from when we were very
Did he
little.
keep it, or did he get rid of it?
No, I think he gave it away, but it was It stood out, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no, they don't make them like this anymore.
No,
That's all I can say.
They do not.
Literally they don't, but these are collector's items, as I said, and we're just seeing them in every color, and there's a long line of them coming through.
I don't think there's a scratch on any of them.
Oh, no.
Right? I mean, they're just so shiny. The colors are beautiful.
Yeah.
And people are certainly getting a kick out of seeing them today.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're commanding attention. That's for sure. Whether it's a parade or a regular day driving down the street, they're definitely going to turn some heads. I am sure of it. We are seeing the crowd continue to grow here at this year's Juneteenth festival, and even though it's hot, this is really this is setting the tone, because you know the sunshine allows a lot of great things to happen.
And it's not just the parade today, it's a day-long celebration. Opening ceremonies are happening here shortly. At the other end from where we are, Rose Clinton Park, where there are numerous dignitaries and other folks who have a special place in their heart for Juneteenth and really played an important role in the celebration that is today. That's going to be getting underway here shortly.
Absolutely.
You know,
Go ahead, man.
There's a gentleman walking down the street with a snake wrapped around his neck.
Oh, missed him.
I'm glad you missed him. But opening ceremonies is going to be starting soon. Speaking of outstanding elected officials from all over the city, the county, the state, they are going to be gathering on the stage, and our very own Shannon Sims is going to kind of make sure she's wrangling them all up so we can hear from them today and hear their thoughts about why this day is so very important.
Well, and I think it's important to know that she'll be down there. They all want to say something, because what Juneteenth means to each person can be different, and it holds a special place in people's hearts. And we never asked you, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, I think it's been said, Juneteenth for me is a remembrance of our past, America's past, and education for the future.
All right, well, we're going to take a listen to Shannon right now.
And we have some beautiful pageant winners in front of us, don't we? Yes. So this is live TV, right? And we here at TMJ4 are so proud to not only broadcast for the 4th year the Juneteenth parade, but be in partnership with Northcott Neighborhood House. And before we start our ceremony tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. I'm sorry, I didn't get enough sleep last night. But before we start our ceremony today, I want us to recognize that for many Africans, ritual and tradition is to always pay respects for those who came before us, right? For those who went through the Middle Passage, for those who made it through the auction blocks, for those who made it through the Jim Crow era, to those who made it to the civil rights, to today. That's the reason why we are here to celebrate Juneteenth. But before we do that, we have to honor our elders and respect those who have come before us. And so I'm going to ask that Claiborne Benson come to the stage now to perform libations.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Thank you. What a joyful time. We are celebrating the 53rd anniversary of Juneteenth Day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I have been lucky enough to make it to every one of them from the very beginning. How about that? Their gray hairs show it well, don't they? Thank you so very much. I want to say to you that Governor Granger, 2.5 years later, find out that there's 2,500 people who are still enslaved in Galveston, Texas, and he let them know that they too are free. So Juneteenth Day, although an Emancipation Proclamation is written 2.5 years earlier, January the 1st, 1865 by Abraham Lincoln, it's 2.5 years later that we actually celebrate our true freedom. And the idea is it's collectively, everybody celebrates freedom together at once. And that is the notion and the idea. Along with that comes education, the responsibility to get a good education. Along with that comes good citizenship. And then, yes, the right to vote. And I'm going to give you a little story on that in a minute or two. But before I do that, I want to do libation. We use water as libation in doing the libation, and we're giving ancestors, giving our honor to our ancestors, saying them thank you for the past, the present, and the future. We use water primarily because it has the life essentials. And so I first, by saying, for the motherland, the cradle of civilization, Ashe. And say Ashe with me if you would, gently. Thank you. For the ancestors who give us, with their indomitable spirit, who give us much, I say Ashe. And for the ancestors who've given us much to learn from, that being Bill Taylor, who recently passed away. Some of you may remember him. He was a reporter with Channel 4, and we worked together during these Juneteenth days for at least 30 years. And so I say Ashe to Bill Taylor. Jan Kemp, who's one of the founders, and Linda Franklin, who recently passed away, who is a very good friend of mine. I say Ashe to those people. And for the youth who represents tomorrow, and you're going to see them in a minute, I say Ashe to our youth, because they are representing tomorrow. For the struggle and remembrance of those who have struggled on our behalf, that is Lloyd Bobby and Juanita Adams. I say Ashe to them. Thank you. For Moja, the principle that guides us in all things that we do, whether you agree or don't agree, I say Ashe.
Ashe.
And for the Creator who provides all things great and small, Ashe. So I'm going to share a little story with you, and I need your attention. I need you to bear with me, because it particularly is important this year, given that we have the election year. We're going to talk about voting. Oh my goodness, Mr. Benson, we shouldn't talk about it. It don't matter anyway. It does matter. Let me share with you, and I'll tell you why it matters in a minute, and I'm not going to be long, but bear with me. So the state of Wisconsin becomes a state in 1848. Put that in your minds. In 1849, everybody's saying, hey, you left me out of the state's constitution. Put me in, please. And a long list. Now, you hear about the referendum vote of 1849. You hear about it all the time. People say women issues, pregnancy issues, banking issues, and at the bottom of the list, the question is, should African Americans have the right to vote? All of those other things passed, but African Americans were denied the right to vote. They called it a technicality. It don't matter. But for 16 years, we did not have the right to vote. Ezekiel Gillespie, the founder of St. Mark's Church, sued the state of Wisconsin, and he won. The Supreme Court, the state of Wisconsin Supreme Court, said they had the right to vote all the time. Now, let's take a look at that. Throughout this year, 150 years later, they still telling you you can't vote. They counted all of the votes 2 years ago. Took millions of dollars to do that. They counted it. They make you show ID, voter ID. They close the polls. They doing everything they can to stop us from voting. What do I say? If you want a good education, vote. If you want your rights, vote. Stop talking about it, because is it going to give it to you? Absolutely not. Vote. Thank you.
Thank you for getting the crowd riled up on something so important. Well, this year we welcomed home a Milwaukee native and a well-decorated man as our Grand Marshal this year. I ask that General Major Johnny Davis come to the mic and speak.
Well, first of all, happy Juneteenth Day, and it's great to be here. It's great to be home. You know, I grew up not far from here. My grandparents were both on Richards and Palmer Street, right off of Burleigh, and went to school here at St. Philip's on Houghton and Burleigh. Just so many memories. Right down here in the library, I was like, where's the library at? But bottom line, you know, right there on 15th and Capitol, 87 grad of Wisconsin Lutheran High School. This is what it's all about. 34 years United States Army, Major General, and I will tell you, I'm only here because of your investment in me throughout all of those years, even growing up right down here off of 3rd Street. Now, I just wanted to say thank you. God bless you all. Love you. And thank you, Milwaukee. I'm a son of Milwaukee. I'll always be a son of Milwaukee. Thank you.
Thank you. Now he has to do some major work, so he has to get on a plane back to Kentucky. But can we give him another round of applause from Milwaukee? All right. To give you your welcome from Northcott Neighborhood Services, I would like to ask that Board President Jalen Phelps come to the mic.
Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Nice. A little hot out here, but we're gonna make it through. All right, my name is Jalen Phelps. I'm 1/3 owner of JCP Construction. I've been on the board for about 3 years for Northcott Neighborhood House, and just recently I have the privilege of serving as the board chair. I didn't know until I became board chair all the stuff that Northcott House, Neighborhood House does. Ever since the inception of Juneteenth, they have had organized, supported, and made sure that we had the Juneteenth that everybody knows to this day. So putting in a lot of good work, and I'm here to support and make sure that we help keep it going. Another thing that I want to do is I want to thank all the committees, all the long, hard work that it took in order to organize everything, so that everybody can come here and have a good time. But it was a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make it happen. And above all, I want to have say a special thanks to all the committed donors that actually financed it and helped make everything what it is today. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for coming.
And you've been watching opening ceremonies. This is Charms and Champs dance team. They're performing. Let's listen in for a little bit. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
These young people aged 6 to 18 years old. It's a co-ed urban dance team in Milwaukee, and we're going to go to break and come back with more of the 53rd annual Juneteenth celebration with TMJ4.
Can somebody do this? I don't want to knock the mic over. Here, take my mic. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's give everything about Juneteenth a round of applause.
And welcome back to TMJ4's coverage of the Juneteenth Day Parade and celebration. We're keeping an eye on opening ceremonies, and something fun is going on right now, so we want to send it back to Rose Park, Andrea.
We actually are looking at the introduction of the Mr. and Miss Juneteenth pageant. So let's take a listen.
Miss Brianna Clemens. She is Little Miss Juneteenth for 2023 and 2024. Next coming up is Azaria Gibney. She is the second place Miss Juneteenth. Welcome to the stage. Coming in as first runner-up, Miss Gianna Cooks. Please come to the stage. Then we're going to have 2024 Little Mr. Juneteenth, Mason Donald. first runner-up for Mr. Juneteenth will be Marvell Thomas. And let's give Marvell a hand clap. He celebrated a birthday yesterday. Now we're calling up to the stage Mr. Juneteenth himself, and in his application he said, I am Mr. Juneteenth. Mr. Matthew Goss. Mr. Goss is heading to Morehouse this fall. Next coming up to the stage is Miss Personality herself. Listen, this role is for her, okay? Miss Zoe Chambers, Miss 2024 Juneteenth. So as they stay here, please give them another hand of applause because these young people are doing it. This is our future. Let's encourage them. Thank you, thank you. Go this way.
Nice job, Zoe.
They were. Thank you.
They deserve another round of applause, and a loud one. It takes a lot to get on a stage and represent yourself, correct? Well, we have a number of dignitaries from both the state, city, county level. I'm going to ask if Sarah Galuski could come to the stage right now and give a few words. Yes, she is our Wisconsin Secretary of State.
Well, hello, Milwaukee, and happy Juneteenth. It is so great to be here with you all as Milwaukee has the longest running and largest Juneteenth event in the entire history of this country, once again setting the stage. So awesome, Milwaukee. I also am standing in this role, as many of you know, my predecessor was Val Phillips, and we are standing on her shoulders as she has paved the way and broken ceilings for many of us. But as I was walking, I was just thinking about how in the Constitution it says we the people. But we know we're not living up to our God-given potential when it comes to that. When we are still one of the worst states for black home ownership, we only have one black-owned bank. We're one of the worst when it comes to black mortality rates for infants and women. So while we celebrate today, or I'm going to be eating my turkey leg, we know tomorrow we have to continue to persist and fight and do it together. So while we're celebrating our freedom, we know there's work we got to do. So thank you all for all the important things that you're doing every day for making Wisconsin great, fighting for equity and justice. So thank you.
And we're going to take a quick break and come back with more of all of the outstanding fun and excitement happening here at the 53rd Annual Juneteenth Parade and Celebration. We'll be right back.
welcome back. We are continuing our live coverage of the 53rd annual Juneteenth Parade, and you see right there, motivating all youth, May for short. And this organization established in 2016, and the motto here is to make sure no youth is left out, raising awareness for children with illness and disabilities. And they are here to share their story and share their message, Frank.
Yeah, how great is that to include children with disabilities? A lot of times they're an afterthought, you know, but for that to be part of your mission, it's so great to see that. I'm very proud of that.
Inclusivity, that's what it's all about, and they are riding three-wheelers in this parade. Now, these are some popular things that we're seeing on the streets these days, the three-wheelers. I'm not sure, like, what is the price tag? I want to know.
I have no idea.
You want one, Matt?
And loud, and the kids
as long as
are
you ride with me.
Yeah, ask Mac if he wanted one of those three-wheelers.
To Juneteenth. They're learning about the importance of Juneteenth. They're learning about this Freedom Day and what it means to the African American community, not just here in Milwaukee, but across the state of Wisconsin and across the United States of America. And look, let's not sugarcoat it, okay? We've got a very, very important election that's coming up later this year. All of us know it. All of us know it. And I am constantly being asked the question. I'm constantly being asked the question about what are black people going to do in the election coming up? What are black people going to do? And that's exactly what black folks are going to do. They're going to vote. They're going to vote. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking that black people, and particularly black men, are going to hand the presidency.
We have multiple things happening at once here. We have the opening ceremonies with leaders from Milwaukee and the state, and then we have the parade here.
That we saw, of course, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson speaking at opening ceremonies, and whoo, this music is so loud, but you know I love some old school. Mac and I have had some fun sitting here, singing the blues, the R&B, it's all coming through, and we're seeing more of these three-wheelers that are so popular these days.
This is all part of the Motivating All Youth program and presentation in the parade today, raising awareness for children with illness and disabilities, and certainly making a statement as they share that message with the crowd today.
Absolutely. I'm going to have my hearing checked immediately following this parade.
Well, and Frank, is this the portion of the parade where it turns into a party here, or what? Because
the party started. You could tell the party started. The end of the beginning of the parade has gone to its destination, and we're off.
And speaking of, we're seeing this orange and black truck here. They are representing the all-white experience. It's a group of business owners hosting an event featuring stepping and line dancing performances, a fashion show. That's happening on Saturday, June 29th at the Barrett Center Rooftop Ballroom. So they are in this parade to definitely promote that fun activity for many in the city. All white. I've seen you in all white, Mac.
Oh yeah, Mac looks good all white. I've seen him.
All white makes a statement, that's for sure.
More three-wheelers coming through, you guys.
And more classic cars as well. That yellow certainly standing out today.
Yes, indeed. And I wanted to really, as we're looking at the classic cars and things, just talk about the fact that Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or an acceptance of the way things are. It's actually a celebration of progress. It's an affirmation that despite the most painful parts of our history, change is possible, and there is still so much work to do. And everybody's gathered here today with that notion in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's today, King Drive has more diversity on it today than it has for the other 364 days, and it's progress. We want to see this kind of representation every day. You know, everybody is welcome in this community. There's stuff here for everyone, and I'm glad people are coming out to discover it.
Yeah. And talking about it too. You know, it certainly is a discussion point, and when you're learning and talking, it also moves the conversation forward.
It does move it forward, and everybody can enjoy each other. The children laughing,
you know, friends meeting friends who haven't seen each other all year. That's what's going on today.
Yeah. And when we talk about moving forward in progress, it's not every day that you see a Juneteenth flag being raised at a state capitol and people recognizing what it means and what it stands for. So let's talk a little bit about the Juneteenth flag. It has this zigzag shape around the star on the flag, and that in itself represents a new horizon and a new promise for Black Americans. And then there, of course, is the 5-pointed star that refers to both Texas and the freedom of African Americans in all 50 states. And Texas, I mean, we are one of the largest and longest running celebrations, but oh, imagine Texas, because it was those enslaved people in Galveston, Texas that got the word of their freedom 2.5 years later after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. And I just want you to take a moment to think about it. There were no cell phones, there were no text messages to say, hey, in case you hadn't heard, you're free. There was somebody on horseback coming by to say to a group of people, some 250,000 people who were still enslaved, who had no idea that this proclamation had been signed.
And 2.5 years later, that just gets you in the gut.
Yeah, it's like somebody telling you that you had the day off and you've been at work, you know.
You know the,
Can't imagine.
You know the exercise in elementary school when the teacher says you tell somebody something and by the time you get to the end it's a whole different story that was told?
Yeah.
I mean, get an appreciation for 2 years and to get the facts communicated to them so that they could say, okay, I'm free. I'm walking out of here a free man. It's a phenomenal thing, and that's why we have to continue to teach it. But I'm wondering if I could raise a subject we haven't talked about all morning long.
Yeah.
What's the place for the immigrant African in this? Where is the place for the Nigerian, the Ethiopian, the Eritrean, the Trinidadian, the Jamaican? Because at some point, and I know the answer, but I want to know if we could discuss it for a little bit, because it really was American Africans that were enslaved, but it has an impact on all of the people who share that DNA of being African.
Well, I think to speak to what you're saying, if you really look around the globe, especially, you know, Jamaica, places like that, people, this was not just slaves dropped off in America.
Exactly.
It's the diaspora.
That's right.
And that's why there are Black people in all parts of the world who we look alike, we may not sound alike, we don't talk alike, but
doesn't matter.
It really is a global thing. It has affected the world, and America has a very different story than, you know, the other places that you mentioned. But when we talk about people being free, the message is the same, the feeling is the same, and really understanding that we all work hard every day for this freedom.
Yeah. Thank you.
We have another dance company coming our way here that we want to make sure and share with you, because they are performing before the judges and they've been practicing so hard to make sure that they are ready to go on this Juneteenth day.
The Phenomenal Dance Company is who we are looking at, and when you think about Dr. Maya Angelou, she said, phenomenal woman. Phenomenally, that's me. So when you see that on their banner, you understand that they understood what Dr. Maya Angelou was saying. Their banner says, be phenomenal or be forgotten, saving lives through the love of dance. And they've been doing this since 2016. And we are going to see these young people show us what they're working with. They're making their way up, but all of these classic cars, we really have seen a little bit of everybody come through King Drive today.
Well, Phenomenal Dance Company must be phenomenal because they tied for first place last year in the dance competition. They're located near Teutonia and Florist. And welcoming students from 6 to 17 years old. They've done hundreds and hundreds of live performances. So they're borderline pros here, Mac.
Yes, absolutely. They're really good.
Jazz, hip hop, drumline, they do it all.
They do it.
And, I'm going to really have to speak on these fabulous uniforms that these young people are wearing. They're coming up in just a little bit. You can't miss them, Susan. You'll see they are dazzling and shining bright like a diamond. And this is what it's all about. Young people showcasing what they do. And ages 6 to 17 is what we're seeing.
And I'm starting to hear the music a little bit. They have a second location in Racine. So certainly a growing studio based here in Milwaukee.
All right. Making their way up to the judges, and we will mention once again that our very own Cassandra McShepard, one of the judges there at the judges table. And these young people, Mac, you can speak to this, they are competing for big money prizes.
Big money, over $1,500, you know, for the winners. And like, it's just wonderful though. But the support, you know, that Juneteenth celebration has gathered over the years to raise those kind, to raise those kinds of dollars, to make sure that these young folks get that.
And just to give you a perspective, as you take a look at Phenomenal Dance Company here, they're coming up at King and Concordia where we are located, and then Cassandra McShepard and the other judges are right across the street. So they are going to, they're gathering right now, making their way to the location here, and then they're going to stop momentarily to perform for the judges and for all of you at home as well.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to it as they get lined up. Let's do it, Susan.
It's a large group.
Sure, all of these dancers are together and ready to go, and you know, they've been working so hard toward this day for a long time to make sure their dance is ready to go, and they are crisp. I love the accessory they have on their heads. Some of them are using them.
It looks very futuristic.
Yes, but some of them are using them as sunglasses.
That's what they are.
Okay, because it looked like a headband at first, but then some had them covering their eyes.
The whole getup is futuristic. They are space aging and showing us what they're working with. I love it.
I love it too. I have to give them a lot of credit. It is a hot day. Just a reminder for folks at home too. I mean, it is kind of hot today, so everybody's working.
We're past kind of, Susan.
With the weather. All right,
very hot.
I hear the music going. Let's listen in and watch.
Yes.
Goodness.
They are. I love it. I love
and
it.
Showing how good they are. Again, the dancers are anywhere from 6 to 17 years old, and they have jazz, hip hop, and drumline.
You remember when you had that much energy?
No,
in the heat?
yes,
when we were that age, right? It takes a lot,
Long
as you
time
mentioned,
ago.
Susan, to have that energy in this type of heat to perform at 100%. And they are proud of the work that they have to showcase, and we are proud to be able to showcase them here on TMJ4.
Well, and the crowd certainly giving them energy to just keep going. The crowd just cheering them on, and so excited to watch them perform today.
Absolutely, and things are just continuing to grow. I mean, as the hours go on, there are more and more people making their way down as we celebrate 53 years of Juneteenth here in Milwaukee. But Juneteenth in itself has been celebrated over 150 years, and it warms my heart to know that more and more people are understanding what Juneteenth is all about, and being here and actually being a station that cares about that and letting people see it at home, that means everything.
I want to commend Channel 4 for all the good, positive things that you bring to our community.
Oh,
Thank you for
we
that,
thank
Matt.
you for all you have done for our community as well. And TMJ4 is proud to have broadcast the Juneteenth parade. This is our 4th year of broadcasting the parade live, and it's been such a treat. And in that time, we've watched it grow as well, just in the past 4 years.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and the partnership that TMJ4 has with not only Bader Philanthropies, but Northcott Neighborhood House and so many individuals across this community, it makes a difference. We understand the importance of reporting the positive things that are happening in our community, and that's what is also important. I mean, we talked about Bill Taylor earlier and did a special story on him, how he created the concept of Positively Milwaukee. And this, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing right now today during Juneteenth is Positively Milwaukee.
And Mac, I saw you pointing at something. Did you want to make a point here?
Well, just as she's talking about Bill Taylor and Positive Milwaukee, right? I had the good fortune to be on Positive Milwaukee when Bill first started it.
Yeah. And I was in the newsroom when he would go out and do his Positively Milwaukee stories. And when I was a young reporter, I was like, what? We do a story just specifically about positive things. How wonderful is that? And he would come back from those stories and talk about it. And it's hard not to be inspired by every time he went out to do a story or talk to people. He would ask them, what did you do that's positive today?
So, Susan, you've been around quite a while.
Susan is
30
a
years.
Yeah, quite a while. I remember you from way back when.
I do too.
You know.
I remember. She looked like a kid. I remember. I'm like, what is she doing on the TV?
She's aged well.
Absolutely.
Right. We're all really young, right?
Well, to put in 30 years in one market and have people know you and become a household name is not
Absolutely.
It's a little honor that goes for you as well.
Thank you.
So
it's a pleasure
wonderful.
working with you.
Yes. Okay, so now we have Neighborhood House.
Neighborhood House of Milwaukee.
Yeah, this nonprofit organization is at 28th and Richardson, and you said it's a great place. Tell us about Neighborhood House that you love so
You know, it's like similar to Northcott. It's a multi-purpose community center. Neighborhood House is comprised of, there's an organization called UNCOM, United Community Centers of Milwaukee, comprised 8 agencies. Neighborhood House, Silver Spring, Journey House, Northcott. I mean, just the COA. It's just, I mean, they just do some wonderful things, especially with youth. Neighborhood House is one of our finer agencies in this city.
And a focus on immigrants. They have English as a second language to help immigrants get the immigration documents filed and all of this.
Senior citizens programs, youth programs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now we're looking at We Gone Slide.
Let me say that for you.
Yeah.
We go slide. WGS.
Hold on.
This group just rides for fun.
We gon' slide.
And they give back by feeding the homeless. So they not only have a good time with each other, but they've got a mission in mind, as many of these organizations have had that pass by us. Look at this Milwaukee Bucks Green City three-wheeler right here in front of me, and it's just a wonderful thing. I see pink, I see metallic. I mean,
can you believe all the bikes?
I don't know. I would love to have one of those in my garage.
If I had one, it'd be a three-wheeler. I would have to ride a three-wheeler.
And we see people of all ages, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really a testament to all of the great things that are happening in the city of Milwaukee.
And as we continue to show you the Juneteenth parade, the 53rd Juneteenth Day parade and celebration, you are also seeing opening ceremonies are going on as well, and we continue to bring highlights when necessary as the right now we want to just make sure and bring you the parade that is on Dr. Martin Luther King.
Look at this Milwaukee Bucks car we were just seeing a second ago. Now that is slick. You got to be a big fan.
You got a big fan. This is special.
Get it customized like that.
Yeah, this is special.
Oh, we can see it there now. Bangles on the front. Oh, man.
But look at the women, you know, that own these bikes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, sometimes when I'm in my car on the street, one of these cars drive by, you can hear their music over yours.
Yes, yes.
It's like, it's called a joy ride.
Yes, right.
Something like this. There's that. Look at that.
Look at that. That is stunning.
So when we win our championship again, they'll have to be in the Bucks parade for sure.
Now there's another Bucks.
Supercar makes its way through the Juneteenth Day Parade. Okay, we are getting word that there is an important float that we want to share with you as well. We're trying to bring as many performances as we can today.
Oh, hearing a little Frankie Beverly in the background. Oh, it's a celebration now.
Yeah, we're talking Toxic Crew Elite Force Dance Company making their way up here to perform for the judges here shortly. Oh, we got an aerial view of the bus super vehicle.
Is that what you've named it?
I mean, what else can you call it?
It might have wings. I don't know.
You know, I'm seeing all these people with all these free giveaways. Some nice, really, giveaways that people are receiving from the vendors.
All right, so Toxic Crew Elite Force Dance Company are last performers of the parade today. They're making their way up to the judges. You can see the young ladies formed of all different kinds of backgrounds. They've danced for mayors, the Bucks, Running Rebels, Safe and Sound, and they won third place in the dance input competition last year, winning a combined $1,500. Okay, got to stretch. Make sure you're ready to dance when it's go time.
And it's a co-ed team, as you can see. So men and women together having some fun and really making a difference when it comes to giving young people something to do. You said earlier, Frank, no excuses
No
on
excuses.
a lack of organizations for your child to take part in.
Any parent says to me, I don't know where to put my child. Yeah, we're gonna have to give them some information because we have plenty to choose from. Plenty.
Just give them the entrance list for the parade today.
Just give them the entrance list, and you know, because it covers the suburbs, you know, all over the city.
So one thing I love about dance teams as well, the uniformity. And we did this with my dance team for Central State University. One hairstyle, that's how we do it. They're performing now. Go for it. We've seen this outstanding team. All the judges have had a chance to see all of the competitors coming through, working for that little extra money to put into their funds. And we're going to be wrapping up the parade. Susan, Frank, Mac, it has been a pleasure hanging out, seeing all this positivity.
So great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Yes, we thank everyone at home for tuning in, and we love you, and the party continues. Have a great day.